Hey, there we are.
Are we live already? Yeah, we're live already. Look at us being trained at like doing this. Hi, everybody.
We definitely know what we're doing.
Absolutely. Like, we've only been out for like a couple of weeks, and like, you know, it's just getting back like it's our first day. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. You are here with the Gilded Flask. We're happy to see you. Adventure is never far over here. Yeah, we're gonna be playing some Dungeons of Drakkenheim again after a couple of weeks of hiatus. So sorry for that, but we're glad to be back. Before we get into the story, though, we always do like to have a bit of a moment with the community on Twitch. So if you're live with us right now, that is absolutely awesome. Good to see you right now. We saw a couple of questions pop up in the chat already, so we're gonna go ahead and answer those. Then we're gonna do a quick recap to see where we were, and from there on out, we're gonna dive into the runes.
For you guys, not for us. The recap.
So before we get into that, I'd say let's do a round of introductions, as we always do. My name is Ean Barry. I'll be your dungeon master for today. You guys?
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm playing Corey Flinziker, the Tabaxi artillerist artificer. Yeah, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And this is Erudite.
Hi, everybody. My name is Morgan. I believe I'm playing a tiefling gunslinger, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you're a tiefling? What?
What? No. I'm also joined by...
Forgive us while we get back into the swing of things. Hi, I'm Jed. I'm playing Petro, the large being that's associated with a religious institution in some capacity and has a big hammer. I don't remember the details. You know, honestly, I'm just kind of glazing over here.
The big blue guy.
Trying to piece it all together. It's been a few weeks. Petro, the Furbolg Paladin.
Love it.
There we are. Yeah. As hopefully most of you know by now, we play Dungeons and Dragons every week.
Most
we don't.
Every few months?
Every week.
Note to self, script needs an update. We play Dungeons and Dragons basically every week, if we can, of course. On Fridays, live here on Twitch. If you can't catch us live on Twitch, then of course you can catch us on YouTube. If you can't catch us there either, then we are also available on your favorite podcast platform, so you can listen to us on the go. So we should also do a quick recap, I think. Should I, or do you want to ask some questions?
Okay.
I think
can we ask questions?
Oh, go ahead.
Can we ask questions?
Sure. I mean, let's see what you remember.
Here, I'll ask first. I'll ask the first question. What happened last time?
Pretty straight to the point.
Well, it's been fun today, guys. It's
Okay, so I'm gonna go through what I think what I remember happened last time. So last time we started off leaving from the Iron Forge. They're called the Iron Forge, right? Or no, Iron Forge is a different. The dwarves.
That's World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
the franchise.
God damn it. The dwarves of Ironhelm. Yes. They made the pistols and rifle for Brier. We took our newfound weapons over to Buckle Down Road to meet with Mel and get paid for our previous jobs. And so we had a couple of run-ins with a couple of different characters, but overall we basically got our payment, didn't get any new specific jobs from Mel, and decided to carry on with something that we had already had under our belt, which was heading over towards the Shepherd's Gate and trying to meet up with the lanterns and potentially get Petro cleansed from, we heard that they had some potions that may be of help for us. Also, we wanted to talk to them and potentially receive payment, or at least establish a relationship, seeing as we had helped Petra and Ansem before. We also have a bit of a task from the Amethyst Academy, which is there's somebody in I believe somebody by the name of Oscar that has been doing some research in somewhere in the outskirts of Drakkenheim that we need to go and find out if we can collect that research. And yeah, that's where we're going after the lanterns.
completely forgot about the Amethyst Academy stuff. Thank you.
Did I miss anything?
I think we also ran into Mel, and he offered us to be on his team for an arena fight, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wow. Yes, indeed. That is pretty much it. Yeah, and you had a little fight with a cloaker, which, you know.
We had 2 combat encounters last time. We are all almost dead.
That is true. Yeah, you were very unlucky on your survivor rolls. You ran into a warband of Garmir, which aren't the worst if you're a bit lucky, and you weren't. So that hurt, and then you moved on and you rolled, I believe, like a 2 or something.
I rolled a 1 with a +1, so I ended up with a 2. We got attacked by a cloaker and some other creatures. Now, luckily, Corey was ambushed and had a very, very near brush with death. Jumped into his bag of holding to hide, and while he was in there, another creature came and started attacking the cloaker. So we had a bit of stroke of luck.
The cat really was in the bag.
Well, and then that was okay. Yeah, the cat got out of the bag afterwards, but I think we booked it as soon as we could, and I think Petro actually ended up. Petro and Brier both finished off the cloaker. I'm not sure who dealt the killing blow, but you guys saved Corey. Hey, snapping.
Alrighty. I think that is pretty much what we did. Do you have any other questions about where you are so far, or do you guys want to dive into it?
I think we're ready.
All right.
I think we were on our way to Ackerman Mill, and yes,
we think we made it to Ackerman Mill, right?
I think we
Yeah,
did.
you're gonna start with a long rest over there, because that was basically where we ended. So we're gonna do the actual long rest, and then we're gonna start up your day where you're most probably gonna travel to the Hooded Lanterns. Let's see. Let's dive into the ruins, shall we?
Drakkenheim. Once the glittering jewel of Westamar, beacon of civilization, academic study, and religious pursuit. But one fateful day, death fell from the heavens, razing the once vibrant city to rubble. Then, sickness, pandemonium, and monstrous mutations that overtook the few who survived. And yet, beneath the decay and calamity, the remains of Drakkenheim revealed a new secret. Whispers of this discovery crept across the lands. Delirium. Survivors, crusaders, and fortune seekers from near and far battled for dominance, ruthlessly vying for power over the ruined city. In the midst of chaos, 3 heroes stand ready to survive, to rebuild, and perhaps to profit. And the key to their success may lie deep in the dungeons of Drakkenheim.
Back.
Alrighty. So, let's see where you guys were. I believe that indeed last time you ended up at the Ackerman Mill. So let's grab that city map, shall we? Yes, indeed. Last time, as we said, you traveled around the city. You found on 2 separate occasions creatures that did not agree with you and tried to eat your face, but you got away with your life, and that's something. And you ultimately decided to rest at Ackerman Mill for today before venturing back into the city to find the Hooded Lanterns. Which means that last time, as you traveled to Ackerman Mill, you still do need to do your actual long rest. So let me pull up that map, because I started with the overview map, but we should probably do this a little bit more thematic. So as you move to Ackerman Mill, you notice, as you have seen so before, that around the mill there are several locations of tents with some campfires in between. You see multiple adventurers that using this place to just rest up. As you might remember, Ackerman Mill is one of those last few places where you can rest outside of the haze before venturing into the city. On the other side of the city, you would have better accommodations in the form of a village over there, as you might know. But the Ackerman Mill is the best you can get over here. At least you have the safety in numbers and the comfort of, well, numbers, because that is really all that Ackerman Mill offers. You notice that there are decidedly less tents than there were last time. There's still quite a few people around here. Like, if you judging by the amount of tents, it's easily like 50 people here. Where do you set up your tents?
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think last time there was a tree that we liked.
Yeah, I think the tree's a little bit on the outskirts. Keep away from. We're not going to be surrounded just in case anything bad happens. But I really don't.
All right.
I really don't have. I can't do the the alarm system like I normally do. I think we just. I need rest, guys. I need rest.
Yeah, I would feel okay going to sleep, but I don't. I'm. He just kind of like flies his head on a rock.
I can take second shift if you're okay with keeping a watch first, Brier. I gotta close my eyes.
Brier's gonna take first shift.
Right. I'll take second. And I think Norbert's gonna pop off of Petra's armor and just like come tend to some wounds that Corey has. He's got tooth wounds from a cloaker, and I think he got stabbed by a Garmir. So yeah.
I love that. All right. So who had the first watch, you said?
I did.
Brier.
All right. Brier, what do you do for your watch?
She's just gonna kind of just oversee them, casually looking over at Corey every now and then. Around the time Corey had already passed out, she had already pulled out a couple of bandages and started like tending to some of the wounds that were still open.
All right. Looking around you during your watch, you notice that there is not a lot of movement. The only thing that you see at some point is a small congregation of people that are moving away from Ackerman Mill towards the city. It's hard to see because it's a little further away since you have decided to move outside of the direct circle of the Ackerman Mill, but you can see that the group of people seem to all be wearing robes, and most of them seem like they don't have any armor on. You get the feeling that you know who these might be, I think. They
I have a
look,
feeling.
they look decidedly culty.
Yeah. She's got a feeling of who she knows that group is.
Other than that, nothing eventful happens. Corey, you had second watch, right?
Yeah. Corey's gonna wake up and kind of he's gonna meet like Norbit has been helping him. He's gonna take out some of his rations, heat it up, and just keep an eye out on the area, but also just go over his gear and mend little things here and there, fix some of the things that when he was rushing away from the enemies last time, he may or may not have snapped a couple of buckles, and he's got to go through and fix them.
That makes sense. Corey, remind me, did you also suffer a level of contamination last time you were in the city?
I don't believe so. I don't think I've actually ever gained a level of contamination, at least since if we've ever gotten him healed, because I don't think I've ever collected that.
I don't think so either, but I wanted to make sure because it wasn't in my notes. But okay, that is good. During your watch, nothing eventful happens either. The only thing that you can see, which is always a sight to behold during the night, is you see the shift of the haze in the city. When you're close enough to the city, you can see that the haze during the night does something funny, for lack of a better word. Where the haze usually is just low on the ground, and like still like up to like your normal height, it sort of expands and gets a little higher during the night, so it gets more visible, almost as if the blanket itself lifts itself and hangs above the city. You can see some lightning going in between the haze that you are most certain is not natural. It doesn't look natural at the very least. It's a bit of a spectacle to behold, if not for the fact that you know how dangerous the haze itself is. And I'm pretty sure you might look at that for a little while, as it at least gives you a bit of a distraction of your otherwise almost untimely death.
When he notices that, he's going to climb up the tree and just sort of like on one of the low-hanging branches that he can get a better view and keep eating his ration while keep, every now and again looking down and glancing below, but keeping an eye on the haze and watching that mesmerized.
Give me, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Like, I believe I got a 14.
I believe so too. As you're sitting there, it could just be your eyes playing a trick on you. The haze, of course, being the haze. But you just thought you saw a whole bunch of things flying through that. I'm not sure what it was, but that has to be either large in number or large in size if you could see it from this distance. You're otherwise impossible to discern what it was, but it was either a lot or it was big. That concludes your watch.
I'm gonna poke Petro a little bit.
Petro.
Huh?
Here's a potato. I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, potato.
How do you wake up Petro? With a potato.
It wasn't like an angry or a mean poke. It was just sort of like get his attention. Waft the potato under his nose.
Oh yeah, understood. You just wakes up. Ooh, potato.
Oh.
Petra, as you wake up, do you know that feeling where you almost have a fever? Like if you take your temperature, you don't have one yet, but like you feel you're getting one, like that sort of like feeling.
Yeah,
you have that. Can you roll me a d6, please?
I'd rather not, actually. Thank you for asking, though.
But
all right. It's a 2.
Okay. Yeah, you don't feel great. You've had worse, but you don't feel great. Luckily, nothing happens to you.
Okay.
But you don't feel great.
Feeling a little bit shivery, maybe. Petra makes a fire at the campsite.
Sure. I think the warm glow of the
fire and then...
Yeah, I think the warm glow of the fire will help you feel a little bit better. It will not take the shiver away completely.
Sure. He makes a fire and then he kind of heats up the potato, and once he's kind of munching on the potato, he spends the rest of the watch just kind of looking up at the stars, thinking about the destruction of Drakkenheim.
That's fair. Luckily, nothing else happens during your watch either. And with that, it turns to morning. The haze lowers back to where it usually is during the day. And you start off with, surprise, surprise, a very dreary day with a bit of rain. As you decide to pack up your camp, is there anything else that you'd like to do at Ean Mill right now?
gonna waking up. I'm gonna reattach the reattach Norbit to Petro's armor in diagnostic mode.
I think I'm gonna take a bit of time just making sure my guns are loaded up. Get them all reloaded, all the bullets ready to go, and then just put them back in the holsters.
That makes sense. You might as well, now that you have time.
Yeah, he hasn't
All
used it for a bit, but he's also gonna mess with his hand crossbows a little bit just to make sure they're in good order. Hand crossbow one.
All right.
Were
With
there,
that, you set out from Ean Mill and you go back into the city. What is your approach for today? What do you want to do?
were there any significant people or like anyone who looked beyond sort of a low importance individual at the Ean Mill?
Other than the group that Brier saw passing by, which was a bit of like a moment, you probably won't have seen anyone of significance. Most of the people that you have seen walking around looked like either people trying to get away from Drakkenheim and just resting up over here, and maybe the odd adventurer or adventuring party.
I think if we're heading over to the Shepherd's Gate, I think we may want to stay out of the city for a little while, or out of the streets until we absolutely have to go in there. So we may want to just travel south until we get over to the Shepherd's Way. You guys okay with that?
I agree on this.
So let me go ahead and give myself a long rest. I didn't do that. So I think we're gonna basically make our way due south and follow the road until we start seeing buildings down here, and then head in the main path.
Before you head up there, just a quick heads up. Petro is having some internet difficulties, so he's quickly just turning off his video to hopefully increase his audio.
Yeah, hopefully that helps. Got some internet issues, so I will be troubleshooting for a moment, and then I should be back in about 30 seconds, but I can still hear you all. So
Well, while you're
Perfectly
doing that, as we're walking, and Corey's actually gonna be again on Petro's shoulder, with the explanation that he needs to talk to Norbit, make sure that the defenses are up and running, but he also just doesn't want to walk. And he's gonna be reconfiguring his spells a little bit, his technology, and I want to see what spells I want to take today. That I'm not used to the whole wizard / cleric / prepare your spells every day kind of deal.
Yeah, that's a new approach, huh? Well, while you do that, Brier, can you roll me a survival check?
Oh no. Yes.
You're great at these. You're great at these. I believe in you.
Okay, survival roll, and it is going to be. Oh, thank God.
It's more than
Nice.
a 1, so 15. All right. As you get to the to this part of the Shepherd's Way, which if you're going into Drakkenheim, I believe I've told this before, right? But there's like 5 major roads that go into Drakkenheim that all convene in the center of the city. Shepherd's Way is one of them, and at this point where you are right now, it sort of like curves around and gets ready to go straight up towards the gate. From this point on, you are basically entering the outskirts of the city. You see a lot of buildings around you. And as you get ready, because this is the more dangerous part of this trek, you look around to see if everything around you is safe. Brier, you notice 2 things. One is that you see a pile of skulls somewhere. It's like a small pile of skulls. which in itself is unsettling, not necessarily because it's skulls. I mean, that's unsettling in its own right, of course. But as you might remember, nothing decays within the haze of Drakkenheim. The fact that these skulls look the way they are means that someone has done something to them. This isn't natural causes, just by decay. Secondly, you smell a certain smell that is just rife in the air. It's not pleasant. It's basically the worst, strongest version of like dog pee. Very strongly so. It almost smells like something has marked its territory here.
Ugh. She's just gonna kind of hold her hand over her nose when she gets a whiff of it, and she just, oh, it's not the greatest smell here, guys. Just,
Oh, that's pretty bad, but I've honestly smelled worse.
ugh. I'd rather smell flesh, rotting flesh, than this.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a real no-go. I don't want to go. I think we may want to go around. I don't want to get anyone near. Like, what if it gets on us? What if whatever made it is still around here? Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, let's go around that. Ugh.
Yeah, you want to go down a street and then go up that way?
Let's do that.
Right. So actually, we may want to I think we make our way back the way we came up to the cross street we passed, and then make our way up that way.
That is fine. With the survival that you rolled, you will make it like that to the gate. There's not going to be another encounter here.
Wow, you guys are really good at this stuff.
Hey.
When I tried to lead us through the city, we ended up finding a troll, and when Corey tried, he found like a really big blanket that like wrapped around him. But when Brier does it, we just walk down the street. This is great.
Yeah, it just smells like that's.
Yeah, I can
I
handle
can deal with some
bad
smell. Yeah, that's okay.
Stinky.
I had this dog, or my teacher in when I was in school, he had a dog, and it really smelled because it would pee in the corner sometimes, and he told it not to, but it just kept doing it, and then it was really stinky over by where I was sitting, so I got pretty used to smelling that kind of gross smell.
Okay.
I'm conflicted because I could probably help him with a device that would train him to not do that, but I also, I have a soft spot for little animals, not dogs, but Anyway,
All right.
moving on.
As you get close to the Shepherd's Gate, you see the gate itself in all its grandeur, and honestly, the gates of Drakkenheim are a sight to behold. The walls of Drakkenheim are a sight to behold, for that matter. They are rather tall. They have a bunch of beautiful statues on top of it as well, like gargoyles and dragons. It's just like it's adorned, and just the whole wall, other than the fact that it is still masonry, just almost looks like it's been made out of one singular piece. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. The gate itself, very much so as well. The gate itself looks almost like a bastion with a gate in it. And you notice that it has been extra fortified beyond that. Let me pull it up for you. Here you are. As you look in front of you, you see that the gates themselves now have wooden rafters going around it in the midsection of the tower and all the way at the top. You notice that there are various large arrows pointing out from the top of the tower, indicating that there might probably be ballistas on there, which is not just a small measure. You see various people patrolling in and around the tower. You see multiple bows here and there. And you see that a hastily dug moat has been created around the gate, filled with wooden spikes, and a simple wooden drawbridge has been thrown over it. All in all, this place has been made to not be taken. Maybe it grants some resemblance of safety. Maybe not. But at the very least, you see that the Hooded Lanterns are doing everything they can to keep this gate in their hands.
Do we see any people like up on the walls?
Quite a few, actually. Yes, there's one or two people on the ground near the gate. Then on the rafters, you see a couple, and all the way up on the towers of the gate. It's hard to see actual people there because it's quite high, but you do see a couple of shapes. So all in all, I think you see about like 20 to 25 people easily, and those are the ones you can see.
Okay. Petro turns to Brier, and he's just like, "This is Shepherd's Gate. Do you think they have any shepherd's pie?"
You can ask him if they have shepherd's pie if you want shepherd's pie.
I definitely think we should ask him. It seems like the kind of thing they would have, given the name.
Yeah, Petrol, you know what they make shepherd's pie out of?
Oh, no, I don't know.
Shepherds. I don't know if you want to be eating those.
Wait a minute. You're making a... Wait, is that a joke or you just... Wait.
Brian
Really?
kind of
Talking
sitting there
about?
just holding her hand over her mouth and just...
Oh, I really hope that's not true.
Let's go talk to the pie ingredients. Come on.
It's not true, Petro. It's not true.
Petro shouts up to the guy on the wall. Is shepherd's pie actually made out of shepherds?
You notice that about 20 to 25 bows are immediately aimed at you.
Sorry. I mean, he holds up his hands. I mean, what I meant to say was, we come in peace. Hello, friends.
Corey just says, "See, I told you not to mention the pies."
Oh, I mean, I feel like mentioning pie is always a good idea, but okay.
From one of the
yeah.
makeshift doors all the way above, you notice that another person steps onto the rafters and looks down. He might look familiar to you, as this was also the gentleman that you delivered Petra to when you brought her over to the gate. He looks down to you and he says, "Hello. Oh, you're the adventuring party that brought Petra over, aren't you?"
Yeah.
My name's...
Go ahead.
Oh, my name's actually Petro. Not... Oh, right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. We have Yeah, I got it now.
Yeah, she invited us back. We were gonna talk shop.
Right. So you want to come to the gate?
Yeah, we were invited here by Petra, and she was gonna ask us some questions and talk shop. How else are we gonna go through? I mean, you guys want to come down here? Sure. But it would be nice and comfy inside, right?
Just making sure. What news on the outskirts? Anything that we need to know?
It's dangerous, and it's hard to breathe.
And Styx is just as nice as ever.
Who?
Hey,
Oh,
yeah. Don't worry about it. A friend of ours. Anyway.
Okay. Sure. Guys, raise the gate. I'm gonna have to check with Petra on the coming through on her invitation, because we do have a gate toll, but you know what, we'll waive it for now. But remember, next time, we do need to extract a toll for whoever comes through the gates. But come on in.
Okay, sure. Yeah, toll. Got it. Okay, sure. This guy.
You can hear the gate rising, and you can move on through if you'd like. Let me just give you that part. There you go.
Smell of fortifications.
Well, it smells a little better than the pee earlier, yeah.
Much.
As
Anything
you,
smells better than the pee.
As you move on through, you notice that the fortifications extends to this side of the wall as well, which is something. On the outside, I mean, you've encountered your fair share of evilness, so it makes sense that you want to extra fortify it. The fact that they also dug it on this side, well, is food for thought, because you notice that they also have a ditch over here with wooden spikes, extra ballistas pointed inwards to the city, and the same wooden bridge that they can easily remove. It is quite busy on this side of the wall as well, with multiple people just walking around, shifting crates, moving stuff around. One of the guards approaches you, and as he stands next to you, he says, so are you going to the... Where are you going? Are you going to the garrison?
I don't know. You guys have a meeting room or something?
You have a shepherd's pie room?
Is he serious? He says as he looks at Brier and Corey.
I don't really know, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you did here. I think there's been a miscommunication.
Yeah, he thought Shepherd's Way, Shepherd's Gate, Shepherd's Pie. It's the whole thing with this guy. Do you have any potatoes?
Okay.
He likes potatoes too.
Are those in shepherd's pie? Because I feel like they are.
Yeah, actually, do you guys have a kitchen or something? Like, where's the menu?
Move on through.
Is it table service or do we have to go order?
He like extends his hand towards the wooden bridge. Please move on through. First big building that you see with our banner on it. Just go over there near the gates.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, sir.
I'm sorry about them. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, close the gates. And the gates behind you close.
I don't think they have any pie.
And they're probably just hoarding all for themselves.
Pie is very hard to come these days, Petro.
I mean, it's just like bread and stuff in the middle, right? Easy.
I think yeah. It's just like a thin layer of bready stuff, and then it's a big layer of like hot, yummy stuff.
I mean, that makes sense. As you move up the road, it's really not far. It is but about 100 yards before you come to a split in the road where you see a large building that seems relatively fortified. Again, you see members of the Hooded Lanterns with their telltale green cloaks that are on these small turrets and towers around this. You see a couple of ballistas, and you see a main door that is barred with a couple of those wooden spikes that are like semi-lifted up. Apparently, this looks like the garrison.
How do you want to play this, Brian?
Brier's already like on our way towards the towards the doorway to go talk with one of the guards that's in front of it.
Hey, Petro, she knows where the pie is. Let's follow her.
Petro picks up his pace a little bit.
Halt. What are you doing here?
I wish to speak with Petra and also possibly the Knight Commander. We were the adventurers who saved her life earlier.
Oh, I'm going to have to see if she is in. One moment, please. And he
Thank
yells
you.
behind him that someone needs to go and run. Takes about a minute, and then he turns around and says, "All right, your names are."
My name is Brier.
Hey, Corey.
And Corey and.
Oh, I'm Petro. It's just a coincidence that we have such similar names.
Right. Well, those are the names that she said she was waiting for. So you're welcome to come in. Let me just do this, and you hear like a shackle going, and the gate opens. You're allowed into the garrison.
Thank you.
Yeah, see,
And
Jerry
Brier's
always,
gonna make her inside.
Jerry always tells me about like using pseudonyms and like fake identities and stuff like that. I could never keep track of all that crap.
As you let me just
Petro's kind of like sniffing the air as we're making our way through here.
As we pass by the guy's like, you look really similar to the guy out by the front. Are you guys brothers?
Dude, the amount of effort I put in my tokens to make sure that they look unique.
It's a clone army, guys. I figured it out.
You used to be an adventurer like me till you took it. Oh wait, no, hang on.
Wrong game.
Funny. Yeah. So you walk through the gate and you see pretty crammed together what seems to be the remnants of a would-be barracks or garrison from days before. You notice that there are several buildings over here that have probably gotten a different use after the meteor fell. You see that there is a blacksmith going. You see somewhat of a mess hall. And you see what seems to be some sort of an armory or provision room where a couple of people are walking in and out with weapons. Luckily, you also see two familiar faces. In the courtyard, currently giving training to a couple of Hooded Lanterns, are Ansem and Petra Lang, brother and sister. And as you come in, They both turn to you and they offer you a warm smile. Well, finally a familiar face. Welcome to this side of Drakkenheim. How are you doing?
Sure runs up and hugs them.
Oh.
They love hugs. They will do that.
Oh man, it's so unusual to actually like get to see people multiple times in Drakkenheim, and you were so friendly, and it was so nice to rescue you because I think you're a good person, and it's so good to see you again.
I appreciate that, Petro. Wow, I'm happy to see you as well.
I think he likes you because your names are so similar to his, or your name is so similar to his.
You know what? I never noticed that. Yes. Well, that makes us friends, doesn't it?
It does, and I will say that the world works in mysterious ways sometimes.
Yes, I would say so. It's not every day that someone of the Hooded Lanterns get rescued by a group of adventurers who have been nothing but courteous about it. Again, thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
I'll mention it.
Anytime.
So, what brings you here? What can we do for you?
Well, I've learned that you don't have any shepherd's pie, so the next best thing, I've been feeling a little not great, and then last night I kind of had like a little bit of a fevery feel, and I was sweating a little bit, and also it's probably because a witch went inside of me, which I did not want, to be clear, and I was told that you had like a potion, or maybe it's more like a tea concoction, or maybe I need to get rid of it.
Well, we offer some healing services through one of our druids. I'd say go ahead and check up with him. He's over there, and she points to one of the buildings. He might be able to help you, though. If it is what I think it is, well, talk to him. Let's see what he can do for you.
Oh, okay. I'll try that.
All right.
I guess, Brier, you have something to talk about?
A couple of things, actually. I wanted to speak with maybe Modron Angers and hopefully the commander as well.
Modron, what business do you have with him?
Well, I came to learn, and hopefully he can help me, but I came across a pocket watch that belonged to Vincent Angers, who was ranked the fourth. She's gonna take off. She's gonna take off her pocket watch.
Provisional something or other,
and then just show her the pocket watch in her hand.
Fourth Expeditionary Expedition Force to reclaim the capital. That's interesting. That's our old name before we became the Hooded Lanterns. Vincent Engers. We don't have a Vincent Engers, but we do. Yeah, Modron. Oh gosh. I guess that's family. Modron works the forge behind me. The blacksmith. Go ahead and have a look over there for that. Anything else?
If at all possible, I'd like to ask the commander if he knows anything about the royal spy master as well.
We can ask. The Lord Commander is very busy, but if you'd like, we can ask him if he has some time for you. After all, you did save me, and I think he'd like to meet you. So go make your rounds over here. Feel at home. You're safe within these walls, and we'll see if the Lord Commander has time for you. All right?
Thank you.
Nah, I got one more question. What's the business with this toll thing?
The toll at the gate, you mean?
Yeah. Just like, what's it for?
Well, to keep the operation running. The garrison, the gates, all the provisions that we need. It doesn't come cheap, the potions that we're getting lately. They're very expensive, and we need a way to pay for that. The paladins out there, like, they basically got like a couple of coffers full of gold with them from Illyria, and they can just call for more. They don't seem to want for anything. Queen of Thieves, same thing. She just steal whatever she needs. We don't do that, but we do need funds to run an army. It's incredibly expensive.
All right,
So
that's fair.
we ask for a toll near our gate. So it's just 10% whatever you bring with you, and that's it. Nothing more.
10% whatever bring with us. Okay. So what that means? Like, does that include like equipment that we have to like survive? Like, if I bring a sword, how do I give you like a tenth of that?
No, we basically we make an assumption on what you have brought with you, like in your backpack. If you carry 10 swords, that's a different story. But if you have one sword on you, that's okay.
All right. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I get where you're coming from. I mean, access to the city is a pretty precious commodity. So, if you guys are like out here doing, from one business owner to another, I get it. Wonder if there's anything we can do to help out. But
Petro leans in. I get it too.
you're a business owner?
What's a business owner?
Exactly. So yeah, maybe we can work some out. You guys are saying that you're low on some, or you need supplies and other things to help run this place. Like where do you normally get it? Like, let's say there's no traffic coming through and they're not giving you, you're not getting a steady income from that. Yeah, obviously you got to be getting it from other places like that, like in the city or doing jobs or what. How do you fund this operation? If you don't mind me asking, like, I'm not trying to pry into your business. I know that whatever privacy you got going on.
They look at each other, and while Ansem shakes his head like don't, Petra just widens her eyes a little bit and then looks over at the three of you and she says, all right, so keep this between us for now, all right? There are some people that live in the city still, believe it or not. One of them doesn't live too far from us. His name is Oscar, I believe it is. I believe he's a wizard or something with the academy, but he can make potions. And they're expensive because it's hard to come by all the ingredients for it, but he can still make them. He has a little team with him that helps him like make and ship these potions. And well, it's as good as we can get, but yeah, we do get that. But that's one of the ways that we do. We need money for that. That's expensive. He has also been working on a very special potion that helps you mitigate some of the effects of the haze, especially when you get further into the city. The haze right now that we have here, right, and just outside the walls, that's annoying as it is, but like, you haven't seen the half of it. If you get further into the city, the haze just gets really thick, like almost like a completely covering mist. If you venture through that without any means of protection, I mean, you can, but that's dangerous. And he's made a potion that makes it bearable, which is invaluable. And well, a lot of our money goes there.
Yeah, like I heard about areas of like really thick and dangerous haze. Like I mean, I know, we know the effects of it's hard to. Actually, that brings me to another question. How do you guys we're in the haze. How do you guys how you here? Like, do you have to go out to the mill every night or something? Because I didn't see you guys out there. We were just there.
They look at each other and they say, "Yeah, we rotate a lot."
Oh man, that's a rough situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, yeah, no, I get where you're coming from, and honestly, like, I was about to get a little up in a huff about, hey, I got to pay every time I come visit you guys, but I get it. You guys are trying to do your operation, and it ain't cheap feeding a lot of mouths. So I'm gonna think about this, and who knows, maybe we can come to some kind of agreement. Maybe we can help you guys out some way, because yeah, I don't know, working in the area, we're probably gonna run into each other a lot, and I'd like to have a good business relationship with my friends if I'm gonna, keep up a good communication.
That makes sense. I like that. We'll fetch the Lord Commander for you if he has time. Feel free to walk around. We'll see you in a bit.
Yeah, I think we gotta help big guy over there real quick.
They turn around and they walk towards the larger tower in the compound, and they go inside.
Oh, this Oscar guy sounds promising.
Yeah, I think we already heard about him.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we
I
have.
forget things sometimes.
I'm glad we didn't say anything. All right, so first things first. Brier, you okay with us going and fixing up and talking to the druid guy?
That's fine.
All right.
I do need to speak with Modrin.
All right. Well, we'll meet you back here after you're done. Maybe we can go see that Lord Commander guy.
All right.
Petro walks in the direction of the druid. Was it over here? Is this right?
The yellow building over here.
All right.
As you walk inside there, you will see that there are two very simply made stretchers with soldiers on there that seem to be in pain but healing. And walking around there seems to be a druid of the Hooded Lanterns, wearing the green, as all they are, but with a large symbol of a couple of leaves around his neck. By all accounts, if anyone has to be a druid, it's probably him. He looks up as you come in, but he just immediately returns back to his work without saying anything.
Oh, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Druid, sir or madam. I'm Petro. Hi. Oh, these guys look like they're in rough shape.
Yeah, that's what the city will do to you. Can I help you?
Oh, well, first off, I might be able to help you. And Petro goes in and starts examining the guys that are on the stretchers to figure out what's wrong with them.
That's cool. That's actually really cool. I didn't expect you to do that. Give me a medicine check.
Okie dokie. Not bad. It's an 18.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, let's do this. So the druid is trying to help one of them, and you walk in and you look at them, and you very easily spot the fact that he has some internal bleeding and probably some bruising, which would make sense that he doesn't feel right if that's what's happening.
Petro grabs a bandage off of, I assume they have a counter of supplies, sure. And just wraps it in just the right place. It also uses a couple points of his healing of his lay on hands healing to heal that part of him.
I love that. If you do 2 points of that, you're basically rescuing this man.
Yeah, they'll do 2 points.
Love it. The druid will look up at you and stare at you for a couple of seconds. Thank you.
Oh, sure. I mean, I was trained in this stuff. I know that the Hooded Lanterns and the Sacred Flame and the Druids and the Paladins. I know we all have our differences, but really we all want the same thing, which is to help each other.
He offers you a smile. He says, "You're the first one that says what I think as well. Ultimately, we're all here with the same purpose. No one wants to die. Not for a couple of bricks, right?"
I agree.
You. Are you, if I may ask, are you a Furbolg?
I am. Have you heard of us?
Yes, I have. You had a conclave right outside the city.
Oh yeah, Green Grove. Yeah, from what I hear, there's not much of it left anymore.
I heard the same, but I had a couple of friends there.
Really? What were their names?
Well, one was called something like Gruff. I remember them telling me that they don't really use names, but they sort of gave names for whenever someone needed a name.
It's sort of a convenience to interact with, other species.
Yes. One was called Gruff, I remember.
Okay. Maybe I knew them.
And there was a female as well.
Can I ask how old they were?
Well, by the looks of it, I would have said that she was 40, 30. I don't know how you age.
Oh. It depends.
Probably in the forward direction.
Oh, that's accurate, actually. We do.
I believe she was called Grimora.
Oh, actually, should I roll to see if I know these people before I reply?
I honestly feel free to roll, but I don't think you have to on that second one. Because surely you would recognize the name of your own mother.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Just gonna update my backstory document, which you probably did not have in front of you.
I think I remember. It sounds familiar. Corey's taking some swigs from his red Dragon Crush bottle.
When she says that name, Petra's just gonna be, did you mean? Wait, obviously you didn't mean Trislana.
The what now?
Trislana?
Quickly above table. Was your mom called Trislana? Uh-oh. Okay. Yes, that's actually, sorry, like we pronounce it differently in Druidic.
It's very difficult.
I love it.
So I think,
but yes.
I think hearing this name then, Petra would just be like, I mean, I assume she wasn't, really my mother, but she's one of my primary elders that helped raise me. And obviously it's been over 15 years since we interacted, and I've just assumed that they were gone, which I'm sure they are. Well, how did you know them?
Well, the Druids obviously cared for the nature around Drakkenheim, and as such, we also cared for the groves where some of the people lived. So your grove, and a couple of others as well, not with Purboks, but other creatures. So as such, I made my rounds every once in a while, came there, and I got acquainted with them. Your approach to the way of life and nature is very much in tune with the teachings of our way of life. So
I hope so. I haven't been there since before the meteor. Have you made the trek or attempted to make it back there?
Not me, but one of the other druids has, about a year or two ago, did one more round to see if there was anything left. I'm sorry to say, my friends, there's no one there.
That's what everyone else has said as well. That's what I figured. Anyways,
anything I can help you with?
Oh, I'm sorry to be a downer. I've got a new family anyway. I joined the Sacred Flame, and then I also made these friends as soon as I came to Drakkenheim, and they've been by my side, and they're like family now. We don't have a team name yet, but I do like them a lot. Anyway, I forgot to mention the other day. We were walking through Drakkenheim, and there was a really evil witch, and she went inside of me, and now I feel a little bit sick. Is there anything you can do about that?
May I? He says as he beckons you over to cup your face in between his hands.
Oh, sure. Petro kneels down.
Corey's watching intently.
So he feels your head a little bit, then feels your pulse, and he touches a couple of other places. At some point, he closes his eyes. I think it's still very early stages, but unless I am mistaken, I think you might have gotten some contamination from, well, all the things that are going on in Drakkenheim.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Contamination is difficult to treat. There are a couple of ways, but let me put it this way. You should let this be treated. I cannot help you, unfortunately, with contamination. My teachings did not prepare me for what happened over the last 15 years. I heard that some of the clerics and paladins are able to cleanse this through the power of their gods. That should be an option for you. I have heard that there is some research into preventative medicine as well against the haze. I'm not sure if that would work to combat it as well, but that's worth a try. You would have to confer with, we have a potion supplier, I believe, that is busy with that. I'm pretty sure that Petra and Ansem would know.
Oh, we just learned about that as well. And we're gonna go talk to them. And yeah, the Sacred Flame can help, but we haven't been to Camp Dawn in a long time. And the people who can help are there. So, okay, I guess I have to go back there if I want to be healed then. Okay.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you.
Oh, you've been very helpful. You were kind, and you told me about my hometown, and you knew people that I know, and also you're helping these two people on the stretcher, so you've been very helpful.
He puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, "You are a pleasant surprise among many of the unpleasant ones over the last 15 years, Petro. Good to meet you."
Well, oh, it's good to meet you too. And I figure the world is a very dark place, so you might as well be a tiny, teeny little light.
I appreciate that.
15 years and he couldn't learn about the delirium. He's just walking away.
Like, do you say that loud enough for him to hear?
Yeah, like sarcastically and kind of irritated.
Hang on there, he says.
Yeah.
Listen, 15 years may look like a long time, but as long as no one has a solution to fix whatever this meteor is bringing to our city and to our land, we have to rely on the power of gods to fix this. Currently, there is no scientific solution, and nature doesn't know how to handle this either. I understand your frustration, but honestly, count yourself lucky that this is all you have right now. We have people walking in with spider eyes. We have people...
Wait,
well,
do you have any of them here with you right now in camp?
that are mutated, you mean?
Yeah.
Why
I
do you
mean-
want to know?
Oh, it's an absolute shame, but who knows? Maybe I can look over them, and who knows? Maybe I can find some information how to fix them.
I know that he looks like like he's up to no good, but a lot of what he does actually is to learn about people who are injured so that he can prevent it and help them in the future. At least I
Exactly.
think that's what he's doing.
Exactly. Thank you, Pat. 100%. Like, if we don't know how to combat some, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'll level with you. I ain't really interested in the individual. You know, if I can learn from them what's going on with them, like what is afflicting them, who knows? Maybe out there I will be able to find a cure for it, and I'll be able to come back and sell it at a very reasonable price. So, I'm telling you right now, whether or not you want me to, you know, be all touchy-feely, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss, all that crap. Whether or not you want me to do that, I can definitely fix this, given enough time and enough, I don't know, research. But I need to see some of the cases.
Your desire for making a profit off of this are duly noted.
Profit schmoffit. Yeah, okay, you're a little lighter in the coin purse, but you got a guy who's alive instead of spidery. Ain't that worth it? Wouldn't you
give me
pay
a deception check at this point? Come on.
Wouldn't you pay anything to save your friends' lives? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's... I don't think even you believe that yourself. Come on.
Well, he does believe that he has to learn about things in order to fix it. He doesn't necessarily believe that he can do it. He doesn't have a pathway, but he definitely won't get it if he doesn't go searching. Oh!
He believes his own lie is what
I
you're
got
saying.
a natural 20 for a 26.
Damn.
Never asked him to roll for something. Remember that. Remember that.
Hey, I got a 1
So-
on my last survival
Play this
roll.
So
game without
my-
dice.
I think that my explanation for the D20 is that Corey at this point believes his own lies, and that's why he's such a good liar.
Well, I think the whole point of Corey saying, like, listen to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care about the individual, all right? But I am gonna be able to make him better. Now, what would you say? Would you rather have someone who's like, oh, I'm gonna hold your hand and then can't help, or would you rather have someone who's like, I don't care about you, but I can fix you?
At this point, honestly, we need all the help we can get. I'll be fair with you as well. We currently do not have anyone with serious mutations in camp. I will remind I will remember your offer. If we do, and with the Lord Commander's okay, you might be able to assist.
Fair enough. And I will make you the promise that, hey, you guys are helping us by, doing all this, trying to keep the city going and all that stuff. Least I could do is work with you guys, and I could offer some kind of discount. We can work something out. Well, I ain't gonna like rip you off or anything. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I need to pay for my materials, but I don't necessarily need to, buy a mansion out of it or anything like that. It's not really my game.
Okay. If the Lord Commander okays it,
Of
then
course.
I'm fine with it as well.
Yeah. If you do me a favor and just talk to him and try to see if you can let him know that it would be a good idea. Like I said, I trust you guys. I trust you. I trust the Lord Commander, and you. I ain't gonna interfere with your business without your consent.
All right. Next time I see him, I will talk to him.
Cal, but before we go, you said that everybody's got their theories about how to fix Drakkenheim and what's wrong with it, and everybody's trying different things, and nothing's like all that stuff you said earlier. I wanted to know, do you have any theories about how to fix Drakkenheim, and what would actually help?
I mean, the easiest solution is often the best, is what I've learned. The issues began with the meteor, so we need to get the meteor out of the city. Trouble is, let's just say that by some strike of luck, we find a way to lift this thing out of the city. Where are we going to bring it? Are we going to dump it in the ocean? Are we going to bring it over to another part of Westomar? Are we going to bring it over to Illyria and just drop it over there? Like, no, we're going to contaminate things over there. We need to remove it from the city, but we need to do so in a contained way that it can no longer spread whatever it's spreading through the city. If I had the answer to that, I think we would already be doing it. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
first things first, you got to actually survive in order to figure out a solution later, right?
That's the problem.
Well, I mean, Corey's a scientist. Maybe we'll figure something out someday.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm on the case.
Okay. Well, Cal, it's been very nice meeting you.
Likewise. Whenever you're around, feel free to pop by.
Whoops.
Whoops, tramples
It's
over
okay. Tokens going all over the place.
Sure. Dud.
bull in a china shop.
In the meantime, Brier, I'm just quickly going to shift you to the side because there's a token over there. Thank you.
Oh. I was on the
Token mayhem today.
As a matter of fact, let me just move him into the building. That might help better. There we go. Looking into the blacksmith, you see a man of like 40s to 50s hammering away at a piece of metal on an anvil. By all accounts, this is probably the blacksmith.
She's gonna go ahead and approach him and just, excuse me, are you more?
What do you need repairs for?
No repairs, but I had some questions for you, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah.
Are you Mordrin Engers?
Yeah, I am.
Do you know Vincent Engers?
I do. That's my son.
It's your son. Well,
Was my son. Why do you need him my son for?
well, I was hoping to get some questions, but I think I have his pocket watch. If you don't mind taking a look at it. And she's just gonna hand over the pocket watch to him.
Very solemnly, just extends his hand, and as you give the pocket watch to him, he takes a look at it. Let me quickly, we had a picture of that. Let me quickly grab that for our audience to see as well. There it is. As he looks at the pocket watch, do you give it closed or open, by the way?
She gives it to him open.
He reads the inside. Property of Vincent Ayers, 4th missionary. All right, Miss Aurelia, he says as he looks at you. I assume, at least.
You know my last name?
It seems that some wonders are still left to be played. My son was tasked with something, and the task fell to me. When the city, well, when everything went down, my son rushed and signed up with the expedition force to reclaim the capital. He did so on 3 accounts. He went with the 1st, the 2nd, and the 4th. He was hurt in the 2nd and he had to recuperate. My son has been into the city 3 times trying to make a difference, to reclaim what is rightfully ours. It was rightfully all of ours. And on his 2nd trip in there, he saved some of his comrades. He was a hero. And he was visited by one of the king's advisors, if you will. Ma'am, the spy master of Drakkenheim has apparently taken an interest in you. She entrusted my son with a letter, and she said, that if he would ever find you, he would have to give this letter to you. My son died before he could do so, but the letter remained here in the garrison. When I found it, I knew I had to take his place in granting this letter to a Miss Aurelia, who would come bearing his pocket watch at some point. It seems you are. So, am I right to assume that you are indeed Miss Aurelia?
Yes. Yes, I am. She's gonna look really shocked and just kind of still kind of processing everything that she's learning about right now.
I haven't read this letter. This is for your eyes only. I will tell you this. Do you know who the spy master is of Drakkenheim?
I know she worked very closely with the royals. The royal family?
Yes. Ma'am, this is not my business, nor would I ask anything else other than just to give you the letter. But know this, if the spy master has taken a special interest in you, this letter is most probably very important. As to the contents, I cannot speak as I have not read them, but I would urge you to read this letter post haste. Here you go. And he hands you a dirty but sealed envelope. It is completely blank, save for a red royal seal on it, bearing the letter D that the royal family of Drakkenheim uses.
Thank you, Modron. And my condolences for your son.
Thank you.
If you'd like, would you like to keep the pocket watch?
If you have no need for it, then I'd like to, yes. That is a better memory than... I would, yes, thank you.
I think you need him more than I do right now. And she's gonna just give him the pocket watch.
Sure. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. I have more things to do. Excuse me, ma'am. Duty calls.
Of course.
He turns around and he starts hammering away the cold piece of iron that really needs some reheating.
Yeah. With that, as Brier's walking out of the smithy, she's just gonna start opening up the letter and just. She almost looks really nervous to open it, but she's already kind of just picking at the seal, and she's just like, "Do I read this? Do I not read this?" And finally, she just kind of opens the seal and just starts reading the contents.
All right. Brier, I have a question for you. Would you like to share this with the stream and or your fellow players, or would you rather just read this in private?
I think I'll go ahead and share it with the stream.
Wonderful. In that case, I have a letter for you.
Oh.
Here you go. The letter reads as follows. Dear young Miss Aurelia, I left this letter in the care of the city guard, whom I hope will still be functional when you read this. Anarchy is spreading in the city, and there's talk of monsters that stalk the streets. I need you to be safe and get in contact. I cannot share much, but please trust me when I say the city needs you. I can tell you more in person. In case I will not be able to meet you personally, I have entrusted my best agent with another letter. They go by the name of Tabby Hoodwink, and I hope they will still visit their post at Sneaky McGee's. Magdalena Vasari.
Sneaky McGee's.
I need to ask Corey, where are you laughing?
Corey didn't hear nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it the Sneaky McGee's? Because it sounds funny.
It's both Tabby Hoodwink and Sneaky McGee's. That's fantastic.
Names, man. The names.
I got a Sneaky Hoodwink and Tabby McGee's.
All right, with that, she's just gonna, after she's done reading the letter, she's gonna roll it up and put it into her satchel, and she's gonna keep it just on hand when she needs it again.
Alrighty. As you tuck away the letter, you hear another door opening again. And it seems that from the tower, someone exits into the courtyard. Brier, I think since you're closest, you're the first one to see, but I'm pretty sure that Petra and Corey will notice as well. From the tower steps out a very robust man. He looks probably in his 40s or 50s. He has a very stern look on his face. He has a very strong mustache. And he's wearing a really well-kept piece of armor, as well as a fur-lined green cloak. If anyone is the Lord Commander of this place, it has to be this man. He steps outside and he walks directly towards the three of you. You three are the three who rescued Petra, I assume?
Yes.
That would be
Yes, we
us.
A pleasure to meet you.
I was there. Yep.
My name is Elias Drexel. I'm the Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns. It's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for helping us out in our hour of need, he says, as he extends a hand to shake the hand of the three of you.
Brier's gonna return the gesture.
Hey, oh wait, hang on. Other hand.
I'm
Sorry.
not going to use your claw hand.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Equipment. Gotta stay safe in the city.
Well-prepared man. I like that.
You didn't call me a cat.
He's the first one that didn't call me a cat. I love this so much. He looks the three of you over. So, I have to ask. Most adventurers who venture into Drakkenheim do so to find treasure. Forgotten heirlooms, forgotten purses, to enrich themselves off of the misery of others. The three of you ventured into Drakkenheim and saved a lieutenant in need, potentially saving more than just one soul and helping in the effort of our cause. May I ask why?
Oh, I mean, I think that, like, even though we're all from different... I was just talking to your druid about this, actually. Even though we're all from different factions that had different ideas, really, at the end of the day, we all just should help each other. And so we helped your friend that was in need.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no good that can come of just letting someone, befall of a certain fate. Now, if there's nothing you can do about it, yeah, to some degree, but we were there. It wasn't too far out of our way, and we could do something to help,
And in some way, even with everything going on, in our own way, we all kind of need each other if we want to make the world better.
And the 300 gold she promised was really enticing.
With that, her tail's out and she's smacking Corey in the back of the head.
All right. We didn't agree on anything. Only joking, sir.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and your sincerity. Tell me, I can make a assumption on you, he says as he points to Petro, that you come from the area. I believe I know that a Robolk encampment was not far from the city. But as for you two, are you locals? Do you come from Drakkenheim?
Corey's gonna look to Brier.
I have some memories here and there, and I pass by on occasion with the line of work I do.
You may recognize me as an established business owner in Amberwood Village. I run Corey Flinziker's Import-Export Emporium, and name gets around.
Sure. The Hooded Lanterns, he says as he stands up a little bit more straight. The Hooded Lanterns are perhaps one of the last hopes for our city. And we feel this burden every day. We are what remains of the city guard. Some of the army, other rallied armies around us from the various land barons that still flock to our sides. Very few that did, at least. And some other people that have joined our cause out of sheer merit or lust for adventure. Or maybe feeling of honor to retake what needs to be retaken. Make no mistake, the Hooded Lanterns are here with the true mission. We are here to make sure that the city is restored to what it once was, as well as we can. We seek to go back to the good time. We seek to find the royal family, put them back on the throne, as they should, so that they may reign fairly once more. Unfortunately, not everyone agrees with this. As I said, dozens upon dozens of adventurers flood into the city to steal what once was the treasures, the livelihoods of those that lived here. We do not condone that. We understand that in times of need, in times of war, sometimes things go different than one would have liked. But ultimately, we are fighting the good fight here for the people that lived here. After all, most of the people that are fighting within the Hooded Lanterns are people that came from this city. They're fighting for their very homes, literally. And it is in that light that I want to thank you, that you helped us during that good fight. What are you planning to do inside the city now that you're here, other than paying us a courtesy visit?
I think one of our first most pressing matters is big guy over here got himself a touch of contamination, according to your druid guy. And yeah, we've already heard that term from the other people around, you know, ladies in the chapel talking about it. We're trying to figure out how to fix him up. But we came here, we thought you guys might have something. Someone was telling us that you guys deal with that kind of stuff. But turns out your druid said that he really didn't have any fixes for that. But Ansem and Petra were talking about there's someone that you guys might have a relationship with that is involved with, like, you know, potions and healing and stuff, who we might be able to seek out.
You can immediately see that the Lord Commander frowns at what you just said. Seems that Petra and Ansem still have some trouble in keeping their mouth shut to people that we don't fully know.
Oh, we heard about them from someone else too, I think.
Yeah,
I don't think it was just Ansem and Petra.
Yeah, so it's not really. Well, here's the thing, and he's gonna shoot a glare, or not a glare, but like at Petro. Honestly, I understand where you're coming from, and honestly, it's a very noble goal, trying to restore the city and trying to get everything back the way it was. Given how long it's been and what's happened at this place and what's befallen the city, I don't know how likely it is that we'll ever get fully back there. But honestly, if no one tries, it ain't ever gonna happen, you know. So worst case scenario, well, everybody dies. But beyond that, you know, worst case scenario, if you don't try, nothing ever happens. So something's got to be done. I get it. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. One of my goals is I really want to understand some of what's going on in the city. Some of the things that are out there that they're real, but they're not real. I don't know how to explain it. It's like things that are that aren't. And one of the ways that we're gonna get, learn more about what's going on in the city, for you guys, restoring things, and for me learning about things, is we got to get in there and we got to get eyes on, hands on, all that stuff. And yeah, it costs a lot to run an operation. It takes a lot to keep your place going. I run a business. I know exactly what you're talking about. It takes a lot to keep the inventory stocked and, going into the city. It takes a lot of resources to keep you alive, just getting in there sometimes. So yeah, I mean, like, if there's any way...
It sounds like you're trying to reach a proposition. I'm not a businessman, but I've handled more than my fair share of that. What are you trying to imply or suggest, sir?
I guess, think about it this way. You guys have a very, important resource, which is access to the city. And I would love to get in there and find some of these things. Like I'd love to see what's going on with, I don't know. I heard there was a clock tower, and I heard there was some like mechanical automatons around that. I've heard about these things and I've never seen them, and I would like to get my hands on and just look at them. And honestly, getting in there, money is only as good as the research that it can help you do. So if it costs a little something to get in there, if it helps you guys keep the doors open and the lights on, I get it. And I can do my share. But maybe there's something that we can learn for you guys as well. If you guys are having trouble getting supplies and stuff, who knows what we can learn if we get in there. There's all kinds of things in there that has been untouched for years, right?
He puts two hands behind his back and starts to pace a little bit. As he walks away from you like that for 2 paces, he says, "So you just want to enter the inner city. Just look at things. My good sir, if I may be quaint, do you have any idea what's happening in the inside of the city? You might have seen what you think are monsters on the outskirts of the city, but in here, the game is a little different. The things you're going to run into over here will scare you and scar you for life. There's a reason why we sent in 4 armies to reclaim this city, and we're still unsuccessful. I, again, applaud your enthusiasm, but I will say to you, it would be a fool's errand to just go and look at things.
You're right. You're right.
I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Lord Commander. But I think that my friend Corey has a little bit more of a plan than that. And frankly, I know that you sent in 4 armies. And you know you're just going in, you're fighting. Get the monsters, you know. But really, like, have you sent, smaller teams of really smart individuals like Corey? Because he's really good at looking at things. I mean, I know that it sounds a little trivial, but he's got a very good scientific mind. And I know that he's, not fully an expert yet. But I guess what we're saying is, if we had a partnership, then maybe we could improve our skills. And once we're good enough, we could help you. And maybe a small team is really the ingredient that's needed in order to help this city, and not big armies.
That is the sweetest thing you've ever said about me, Petro.
Oh, I mean, you're still learning.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't get too cocky.
Briar's just, I'm so proud.
Did Petra just say... Okay. That's... That's new. Love that.
Shocking grasp on Petra.
This was shocking as it is. All right. Listen. I like the cut of your jib. I like the fact that you want to help out. I like that you have at least a pretense of a plan. What you lack is trust. You have brought Petra back, and I appreciate that. That gave you an introduction, and that gave you access to our garrison for now. All in all, that could be an elaborate ruse to talk to us and then stab us in the back where we're not watching. I hope you can forgive me. We have to be extra cautious. Times like these are dangerous.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I get it.
Help us out with one more thing, and I might have something for you that would be very mutually beneficial for you. It might include this clock tower that you were talking about.
Go on.
Well, the clock tower is an interesting point in the city. It's a rather large tower, and as you might know, it is that tall, that's the very top of it, seems to be outstretching the haze. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but my logic would lead to believe me that that would mean that the very top of this tower might be safe to rest.
I was watching the city last night. I actually saw the haze seem to lift up a little bit. It seemed to go up into the air. Now, do you think that might be have an effect on the situation?
It seems that the very upper level of the tower still is outside of that. So you have to watch out where you would go. But I still believe we have a good bet on seeing if the place stays secure overnight. If it does, this would give whoever controls this tower a solid foothold in the center of the city. I can't deny that I am extremely interested in that for obvious reasons. From a strategic standpoint, that could be the start of something much bigger. Trouble is, as you might have already underlined yourself, if I send in an army over there to do this, I'm going to either run into monsters, I'm going to run into maybe a bit of a supply problem, and whoever else might see us moving might also turn against us. A small group like you might have a better chance, depending on what you find in the tower. I'm willing to help you secure a route to the clock tower if need be. And if you can secure the tower itself, and if you are willing to share it with us as a base of operations, well, I think we can work together on a lot of other things. Before that, though, you have heard of our potion man from Petra and Anson. That was supposed to be a secret, but if you know about it anyways, you might as well help us out with that.
I'm gonna
This man,
I don't want to throw them under the bus because we were basically asking about, you know, how to help our friend. We helped them, and I think they felt bad, so we were asking about how to help, you know, Petra over there. And I think I don't think they were trying to like divulge or anything, you know. I just, you know.
as lieutenants of the Hooded Lanterns, they should know when to keep a secret and when not. They should not, out of guilt or any other reason, share this information with all due respect, perfect strangers. I will have a stern talk with them, but I will not berate them, and I do not berate you. I understand your thirst for knowledge. My question for you is this. This potion seller has been a little haphazard in his deliveries to us, and he is currently also considering a price change. I would like to have him talked out of that, and if at all possible, I would like him to travel to the garrison and continue his work over here. It would be much safer for him, and it would secure our grasp on any potions. Right now, he still needs to travel to bring his potions here. If you can do that, hopefully bring him with you, but at the very least secure an agreement to keep the prices as is, I'm willing to talk shop about this clock tower.
I've actually... Go ahead, Petra.
I was just gonna ask if we could have someone show us where he is, or maybe guide us there. I don't want to get lost. We've had a lot of trouble kind of navigating lately.
Yeah, we only know his name. We don't know where he is, so it'd be great to know that.
It's actually not too far from here. I can give you directions on paper. I will get one of the rangers to draw you up a preliminary map.
Oh, a map
In
would
essence,
be great.
He lives just outside the walls. If you go through the gates and then travel a little bit north and then east, you will come to an area that was reserved for the more wealthy that did not live inside the city walls. There's a couple of villas over there, and he currently resides in one of them.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out. And is there any like if you were to go out and send him a message or anything, like, is there any way that he would know us as working with you guys?
That is a good point.
Because, you know, I don't want to just walk up, because again, he might think the same thing. Like, wait, well, we just trying to, I don't know, spy on him or something.
Allow me to give you this, he says, and he pulls off a pin from his armor that looks like a tiny lantern that is being held by a dragon's claw. Show this to him. He'll recognize it.
Oh, that's pretty.
He's beautiful. We'll make sure to get this back to you. No problem. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Lord Commander, before you go, I was just, we were talking earlier about how the Hooded Lanterns maybe want to get the meteor out of here so that you can restore the city and everything. And I just wanted to ask you, what do you think the strategy is to get things back to normal in Drakkenheim? And I know you want to put people on the throne, but like, how are we going to get, you know, all of the contamination out first?
See, the trouble is, what we need is unison. We need a congregation of all disciplines to work together on this meteor. And the only way to do that is to get someone to actually solidify. All we've been doing over the last 15 years is squabble between various parties to see who is in the right and what we need to do. We've had this enigmatic person that calls herself Queen that has just taken up residence in our city and is just commanding an order of thieves that is thwarting us at every point. Then we have a couple of paladins that have moved in from another country that say that they just need to purge the city. We have the Amethyst Academy, who were once allies of us. They have a tower in our city. And now when we ask them to help us out, they say they will help us, but they also want to have a moment to study. Check out this meteor to see what it truly is. Time is precious, and I feel that nobody is taking this as serious as we are.
Oh.
What we need is a person to sit on the throne, unite these groups for the better interest, and then decide on the course of the meteor. No one but the Von Kessels, the royal family, can do that, as they have always done in Drakkenheim.
Well, sir, I can tell that I'm not going to change your mind about that. And I understand that you have frustrations with the other factions. But I will say that I was raised by the Sacred Flame, and I'm an aspiring paladin myself. And I've come here because I think that we all share a common goal and mission, and I agree with you that unison is so important. And the things, I'll just put this out there for you. You don't have to agree with me. The things that annoy you about the other factions is that they won't compromise. And you, sir, if we never compromise, we're not going to get anything done together. And I don't expect you to agree with me on that, but there may be things in the future that you have to compromise on in order for us to save Drakkenheim together.
Very well
Very
said,
wisely
Petro.
spoken. Yes. And I will say that I agree with you on that. Let it be known that I am always open to negotiations. I am very well aware that I am not going to be able to do this by myself, nor with the help of my trusted men and women of the Hooded Lanterns. We need the rest. There's always option for talk. The Sacred Flame is an army. They are soldiers in their own right, and I respect them for it. The Knight Commander that is leading them is a very well-respected man. I know him, well, semi-personally. I've seen him before. He seems to know what he's talking about. He's had his fair share of fights, and he's given hope to these people.
He's also got great hair.
Very.
Sure.
Yeah, he didn't seem to like me much when I was talking to him. I was talking about the whole, learning about things and getting hands-on and science, and he was like, "Oh, science is evil" and all that crap. But yeah, he did have good hair.
I'm just gonna say, the second you said and he has good hair, like that image of like one of those like shampoo commercials where a guy just like does that and like that hair.
Fabian, yeah.
Maybelline.
Oh, God.
Maybelline or something, yeah.
He must use Head and Shoulders.
You're head and shoulders above him, I'll tell you that.
Well, Mr. Lord Commander, sir, based on all that, I just gotta say that we agree on that, and I think that there may be hope for Drakkenheim yet.
I'm glad to hear that. If you are who you are and your intentions are as you have stated, which I am hopeful for, then I think that I can extend that same feeling. I hope we can work together for a long time.
Agreed. I think this would be mutually beneficial for both us and the city as a whole.
Good. I will ask one of the rangers to draw you up a map, and you can go from there.
Sounds like a plan. If we come back with news from the mission that we're going on for you, do we have to pay the toll?
Oh, right. Use the same badge. Tell them that you got it from me.
Got it.
Anyone who doesn't agree with that can answer to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for helping us out. Good luck out there. Make sure you don't die. The world needs men and women like you. With that, he turns around and he walks. Oh, is this something you wanted to say?
Yeah, she was gonna ask him about something real quick.
Yes.
If you don't mind me asking, this is kind of more of a personal thing for myself. I was recently in contact with Miss Vasari, and I wanted to know where I could find Sneaky McGee's.
Sorry.
Trust me, I'm trying so hard to love to say it.
With the most sincerity and the utmost respect, where's Sneaky McGee's? Yeah.
I'm looking for Miss Vasari's agent.
You get an interesting amalgamation of emotions on the face of the Lord Commander. As you say this sentence, I'm just gonna pick it apart for a second. As you say, I know Miss Vasari, his eyes just widen. And he wants to respond to that as you finish up your sentence saying, where's Sneaky McGee's? His eyes turn to a different emotion.
Oh no.
Instead of shock, he's like, the what now?
The heck you say?
Yeah, that pretty much. He's not amused. How do you know Miss Vasari?
I received a letter from her, and she's gonna go through her satchel to kind of prove the original letter that she received from Miss Vasari, and she's gonna hand it over to him.
He'll snatch that right out of your hands and read it. And when he gets to the bottom and you see him looking at the signature at the bottom, you'll see him just basically zone out and just stare at that for a solid minute. Okay. Here's your letter back. Ma'am, you have to understand that no. Ma'am, the spy master of Drakkenheim was one of the most revered roles in our city. A couple of people have held positions of power within the city. And you might imagine that with the coming of this meteor, most of those positions have been vacated due to various reasons. I, on a personal account, knew Miss Vasari very well. She is, or was, a very good spy master. Before you ask, no, I do not know where she is, if she is even still around. When the meteor fell, she went to do a couple of things that she had to do in the interest to the kingdom. And after that, we've lost all contact. She is presumed dead, but Miss Vasari is full of surprises. I wouldn't be surprised if she held out in some way. What I don't like, and what I'm suspicious of, is your question about Sneaky McGee's. I know this name. This is the name of a tavern in Temple Bar. Not in Temple Bar, in Buckle Down Row. I don't know why I just said Temple Bar there. That's Ireland.
Is there a tavern called Temple Bar? It's where all the clerics get buzzed.
Early today, I was talking about Ireland. That's funny how your mind just goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say. In a far off land called Dublin.
Oi, she's a mighty fine spy.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, everyone. Retro. That is in Buckle Down Row. As you probably are aware, Buckle Down Row isn't exactly an area that I hold dear for various reasons. I'll write this up to the logic of keep thy enemies close. But I will give you my warning. If you follow up on this letter, which I understand you probably will,
I do.
be very careful. That area is crawling with a lot of undesirables. But perhaps that is the reason to go there. It would be the least suspicious.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Brier's pretty straight as an arrow. She's, she'll give me a smack every time I try to do something stupid.
All right. Be very careful with that. But I hope that you will find what you are looking for. If the spy master has a reason to have an interest in you, there must be something important about you. You've never met the spy master, I deduct from the way that you talk about her?
Not to my knowledge or my memory.
All right. I wish you good luck with that. If you ever learn something about Miss Vasari, please let me know. I will be in debt to you.
I'll let you know right away.
Thank you. Good luck on the run to this potion maker, Oscar. I will see you soon, he says. He turns around and then he walks to the tower.
I mean, so if you've never met the spy master and, nobody knows what they look like, anyone could be a spy master. Petro could be the spy master for all we know. Petro, you the spy master?
If I am, I forgot.
That could be our new team name, is the Possible Spy Masters.
Ooh.
Yeah.
While they're in the midst of talking among each other, she had already pulled out her picture that she had from her uncle out of the pocket watch before she gave it away, and she's just she seems kind of out of it as she's looking at the picture of her and her uncle, and she looks like she's pondering about something.
Good there, Brian? I was just kidding. Petro's probably not the spy master.
What? Oh, just it's a lot on my mind right now.
I'm actually a pie master.
What?
Shepherd's pie master.
Let's go looking for some shepherd's pie. Hey, you there, soldier. He holds up the Lord Commander's pen and he goes, Lord Commander told us to tell you to tell us where's the mess hall.
What? Oh, behind me. I was supposed to give you this, and he gives you like a map.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
We're gonna get some pies and take a break in there.
Petro runs toward the door.
As you guys go in there to have some food and whatnot, I think we're going to have a quick break for ourselves as well. So what a perfect timing. We will be back in 5 to 10. So bear with us as we get through our break. We'll see you in a bit.
Peace.
Peace.
And we are back from our break. Hello, everybody. When we just went on our break, we had our faithful team without a name, yet to be named, who talked to some important people within the Hooded Lanterns, one of them being Commander Drexel. You learned a little bit more about various things. Brier got a new letter from the spy master telling her to go to Sneaky McGee's and talk to Tabby Hoodwink. Great names. And you talked to the local druid that is helping out the Hooded Lanterns that unfortunately does not have a cure for Petro just yet. You decided with all the information that you learned over here, I believe, to leave the garrison, right? Or did you still want to do something here?
I think we were gonna leave, but we were gonna see if they had any pies before we headed out.
Unfortunately, no pies, but if you want to, you can get a ration each to go.
I won't say no to that. I'm just gonna not add any because I ate one overnight.
Sure.
Is there how's it set up? Is there like a chef that Is there like handing them out, or are they just like on the table, or?
Oh no, it's one of those like big soup pans, like with one guy behind it that can barely like hold the ladle, like that kind of thing.
Okay, I asked that guy. I'm just like, could I have 2 servings? I mean, I'm basically twice as big as everyone else.
Please, may I have some more?
Yeah, sure. Give me
Thanks,
your
buddy.
yeah. And he just like fills up your bowl and then like gives you another bowl to go with that.
Oh,
It's potato soup.
thanks. My favorite. That's all. I just wanted to make sure Petra had enough to eat.
Give him
Sure.
seasonings. Corey grabs a couple of packets of seasonings and stuffs them in his bag.
Nice.
Right.
Sure. I was thinking, like, would they have that? Like, yeah, let's. I don't want to get that nitty gritty with details.
I feel like salt is probably
Yeah,
harder
I
to come by, but like maybe dried oregano or dried parsley or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's something like, yeah. Alrighty. Is there anything you want to do at the gate, or do you just want to travel? Because then I'll just give you the city map. Saves an extra map load.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think
We're
that's
getting
good.
ready to travel.
Then you will travel. Well, as a matter of fact, first you have a decision to make. Because you are currently over here. I took the liberty of dragging your token into the city a little bit. You are currently at the garrison, which where the token is right now. Your destination on the larger map is number 7, which is directly north. You have a couple of options to travel to number 7. Logically, you can go through number 5, the Shepherd's Gate, where you came through on your way into the city, and then travel around whatever way you want to number 7. The other option is to take your chances with gate number 1, the Academy Street Gate, which that gate is not called the Academy Gate, but I believe the College Gate. That's up to you.
On the way out, I'd like to ask, hey, what's with the other gate up north of here? Because we like walked by it the other day, and it like really messed us up. It was like a mirage or something.
Yeah.
No, I want to clarify. It messed him up.
No, it actually messed Brier up a lot.
Yeah. I was trying to be
and
friendly
Brier,
to
too.
Brier, but Petro. Okay, Petro. If we want to be clarified, it messed her up. Thanks, Petro.
Yeah, I guess the point that I want to get across is that I was okay.
Okay. Sure, buddy. The college gates, there's something weird going on over there. I remember that we once sent another expedition party to check over there. We had a liaison from the Amethyst Academy that went along to check for like magical anomalies. They didn't come back, so I don't know.
Oh, that's eerie.
You guys never never put eyes on or anything like that?
We have some people stationed relatively nearby to, keep an eye on it, because what if it's just like relatively harmful? Then, enemies could use it to come into the city. But we've never done anything beyond that. So you're free to take a look if you want to, but we don't tread there.
Maybe let's just go back through the gate we came through, guys.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that in the future once we're not on such a time schedule. We gotta do. I'm talking to the gate people. We gotta do our job for the Lord Commander. He's always, busting our chops about things.
Sure, knock yourself out. Good luck out there. And try not to get yourself killed. All right.
At ease, soldier. Starts walking away.
You get a slightly insulted look back from the soldier who actually does saluting, like, for realsies.
Corey doesn't notice because he's already walking away.
Brier's just gonna look over at the guard and just, I apologize for him. We're just letting it happen for now.
Okay. I think at this point, Brier, if you got a gold for every single time you had to apologize for Corey, you wouldn't need to adventure.
I would have 2 gold, which is really weird because it happened only twice.
It feels more somehow. I don't know.
I wouldn't
It
have
is.
That's a
any,
great
I
reference.
wouldn't have any gold at all because Corey would have stolen it from me.
Oh!
Corey's just walking ahead.
Okay. So you leave through the gate. How do you plan to get to number 7 up there? From here on out, there's a couple of side streets that you can take. You're going to have to cross the Academy Street, though, and then move towards the quieter area where there's a lot of villas.
You guys want to make a way a little away from the wall so we don't have to walk past the gate?
Yeah, let's go on the outskirts a little bit and then head up.
We're going to take this
Whoever
road
is,
up.
whoever is currently spearheading this, please roll me a survival check.
If you guys don't mind, I will. I've been sauntering out front for a while, so.
Okay,
'cause-
I don't expect you. I trust you not to screw this up twice.
Crap. I got 12. Okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
The second you said, like, the dice over here was still rolling on my screen, and you said crap, I was like, you're kidding me. Like,
So
12
it-
was actually okay.
on my D&D Beyond screen, it rolled under the little like button at the bottom left, and last thing I saw was the 1 as it rolled. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's all right. With the 12, you will actually be able to make this entire journey without too much effort. It's quiet in this part of town, which is nice for a change. Generally, sound is never a good thing in Drakkenheim, so quietness becomes your friend at some point.
So he said that this guy makes trips over to the barracks to deliver potions. So as we get closer to the
Yes.
house, I'd like to look for like, since there's not that much activity in the area, I would like to look for evidence of like lots of travel or well-worn travel in the roads
Sure.
to see which
Give
way
me
you
a
come
survival
from.
check for that.
Okie dokie. Oh, ooh, okay, 17. Ooh, look at us.
Nice.
Fancy.
Looking around for any evidence of travel, you don't see any cart tracks or whatever, but at some point you do pick up that there's a couple of footprints that quite clearly go down a street and leads towards one of the larger mansions. If you decide to get any closer, you will also see signs of life over there, indicating that something is up there. And with that, we're going to load in our map. Wahoo. Yes.
Before we get there,
Yes.
I'm gonna have you guys. Hey, can we find a nice little calm place to? I just wanna do something to ensure that we don't accidentally misplace the good commander's pin. I don't know this Oscar guy. I don't know what kind of operation he runs. I don't know if he's gonna try to take it from us or something. So I'm thinking about making one just to make sure that he doesn't, like, if he takes it, he doesn't take the actual one that I got to get back to the Lord Commander, you know?
Are you gonna show him the forgery?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna show him the.
Oh,
Well, I
that
just want to
sounds-
make sure if he's gonna grab it and try to take it from me, I don't want to.
oh. You think he would do that?
I don't know this guy. Apparently
that's true.
he's about to hike up his prices, and that's a shifty thing to do. I respect it. It's a shifty thing to do.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about this stuff, so okay.
So if I can take a little while, I don't know how long it's gonna take. Maybe an hour. Basically, like going through some of the scrap and using my tinkerer's tools. I'd like to try to. I have a forgery kit. I'd like to try to make a fake commander's pin.
Are you traveling on the shoulder of Petro again?
So no. This is like once we get close within like eye shot of where the tracks go and everything. I'd like to stop off and out of sight and like just stay on the side of the road for a bit.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Roll me your forgery kit. Let's see what happens.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see how to do that from here. Is it just proficiency plus dex, or because I can't click my character right here?
Oh, right. Hang on. Your forgery kit, I
there we go.
believe, is
I think I got it up on my screen now.
it's int. So it's an intellect based check.
Okie dokie, I see it. Let's roll normal. Hey, he did something.
Wow.
Is that a 21?
That is a 21 because it's 17 plus your plus 4.
Nice.
Yeah, you make a badge that's, unless you're going to check for the actual metal of it, would not be a bad replacement for the original.
Right, so
the original is like made of gold and whatnot. There's like some good quality elements in there. The forgery obviously is not, but it could pass.
Got a little buff in here, a little bit. I got a little gold paint that should help out right here.
I'll be honest, that's a lot better than I expected. That's really good, Corey.
Thank you. I mean, it's not like I do this all the time or anything. But here, let's put this one nice and safe and sound. I'm gonna put this in. He puts it in the bag of holding so that it can't be stolen or something.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever have any arts and crafts projects, I'm coming to you first.
Alrighty. So here, Brier, would you hang on to this? I feel like you look the most commandery of all of us.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
You okay? Before we go in here, are you all right?
Just
What happened back there with the all that talk about a letter and Sneaky McGee's?
seems the spy master really has an interest in me. That I've noticed. And I met with Modrin. Vincent was his son.
So you were talking about this, like it seemed important, but I never really like what exactly is who are these people? Who's the spy master? Who's this Modrin guy?
I don't know who all these people are to me, but they know me. How they know me, I don't know.
Well, you should probably change your name and not be introducing yourself all the time. You got, you're on the down low.
But there's a reason why they know me. And I think my uncle knew too, but it's kind of hard to really ask him that.
Well, you're saying you want to go, is this something that you want to avoid, or is this something that you want to follow up on? Because I don't want to go into a place that you're, worried about possible. I don't know. Do you think these people are looking to attack you or ambush you or something?
I usually tend to have a pretty good gut feeling about things being bad, but something's telling me that I need to go. Something's telling me I need to go here and find out. I don't know why, but I need to know. I mean,
okay. Well, then once we've done our business with Oscar in there, we already heard about the fighting pits and everything they got over there. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that we want to be a part of it, but at the very least, it's something we can investigate.
That part sounded kind of fun.
Okay,
I'll explain a little bit more why.
Yeah, okay.
I need to kind of gather my thoughts a bit.
Yeah, no worries. I just want to make sure that you're okay, because we may have to talk our way out of a situation in there if things go sideways. Because hey, no, who knows? This could all go perfectly. We're in there, let's get our story straight. We're representatives of the Hooded Lanterns. Okay, we're there to negotiate for prices, talk about getting him to move over there. I'm gonna need you to take point on the conversation aspect, okay? Because I'm gonna see if I can take a look around and learn about his work there. Because remember, the Amethyst Academy still wants us to check him out. So,
Fine.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bit of a tense situation, but I just want to make sure that you are there. You're here. You're present. I don't want you to be distracted and get yourself hurt or anything. I don't know what's this gonna be. What this kind of thing is gonna entail.
I'm here. I'll be fine.
All right, Petro, how good are you at talking?
Oh, I'm pretty good at talking.
Right. Brier,
by the way, would it be helpful if I was human for this?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You know, the hooded lanterns don't seem like the type to be. I don't know, working with. I guess they have that druid guy in there, so who knows? Maybe they work with furbolgs. But you kind of look like a paladin, so maybe you could look a little more hooded lanterny.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Sure, I could try to look like a hooded lantern. The thing is that all of those city guards, they all look so different and unique. And so really, I don't know which one to pick.
Handcrafted from the flame. Yeah.
So at this point, I look at, well, at first I look at Brier and Corey. I'm like, let's just give me a sec, turn around.
Don't look.
You get nervous if you look.
And then I'm gonna cast Disguise Self, which is one of my Furbolg abilities, and attempt to look like one of the human hooded lantern. Oh my gosh, man! I just had a brain fart. One of the guards.
Alrighty. As we have discussed, it is a trait of you, but we're gonna do a roll for it because that's fun. To see how much you do transform. So roll me that d20.
It's just a straight d20, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
17.
Nice.
Yeah. You just look like a pretty big man with a green cape now, signaling that you are pretty much a hooded lantern right then and there.
My name is Javier.
Javier the hooded lantern.
All right, Javier, let's head on in.
Oh, okay. I should probably take that pin.
I thought Brier was gonna take it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are you guys moving up to the mansion?
I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Let's see that transition.
Reed Manor is a rundown two-story house, surrounded by a rusting wrought iron fence and an overgrown yard filled with shrubberies and brambles. The long, thin windows are boarded over from the outside, but light flickers within the...
It cuts off a split second before the end, but that was really cool.
Thank you. I'll have a look at those timings.
We can see something moving.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed,
boy.
you can. I have a new plugin that allows me to make these things patrol. How cool is that?
Cool.
Okay,
and
that's actually
scary.
really fucking cool.
All right, we're gonna turn around and walk the other way now. I don't know what this is.
As you
God.
look up to that's something, right? Let me just lower that volume a little bit, by the way. There we go. As you look towards the mansion that you just heard about, you see a courtyard and a mansion within. Looking at the front yard of the courtyard, you see a hulking creature that is just slowly making its rounds over there. By all accounts, it looks like an ogre of sorts, but it doesn't look happy. Not so much because like he displays any other form of emotion, but because he is missing his jaw. He's probably not doing too well.
Okay.
Oh, hey. He looks like he needs help.
Yeah, no, he looks like he's a little bit beyond our help there, Petro.
Oh,
Although, we do have this fancy scroll of speak with undead. Or speak with dead.
Oh, I don't think he's dead.
He's... okay. He might not be dead, but then he's in probably a lot of pain.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we can help him.
You go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and... is there any... You said there's a wrought iron fence surrounding it?
Correct.
On the other side of the path, the road, is there any, like, structure still standing?
It's mostly rubble. There are some like half stone walls that you can hide behind if you want to, but there's no structures in it.
Hey, you go ahead, Petro. I'll be watching from over here.
My map is having trouble loading. This is Jed speaking, not Petro, by the way.
What do you mean loading, Petro?
One
What's
sec.
this? Oh yeah, you know what a map is. So, all right, let's just give it a second. Don't worry.
So, yeah, I think I'm gonna sort of, I'm gonna take a look at this mansion and try to get a sense for what it's like. Like, does the top floor, like, can I see through the top floor windows? Does it look like it's all rubble and crushed down where it's like the top floor is useless, or does it actually look lived in?
Oh, the top floor is. I thought you were talking about the building that you're standing in.
No.
Just like that's gone. No, the building that you're looking at right now, like it hasn't been well kept, but it's still standing. Most of the windows seem to be boarded up, and there is a bit of light flickering out from that. And it's 2-story, so there is a second story on top of the first, which makes sense, right? And you do see a bit of light flickering out from that, not from all of the rooms, but from some, which would indicate like a candle or something being lit over there. So yeah, there's apparently someone inside there.
What was that, Brier?
What are you thinking, Corey?
Well, I wasn't expecting there to be a big lumbering bodyguard out front. Or I don't know, maybe this guy's maybe I mean it looks like this is the place. Who knows? Maybe the guy's not here anymore. He got driven out. I don't know what's going on with this the thing in the front yard.
I have a bit of a hunch that he's using this creature as a guard.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the most logical thing, but I don't like making assumptions. Is there any signage or anything that indicates that the store's open or the guy is in or whatever?
Absolutely nothing. Beyond the fact that there is a creature walking around here, and the fact that you see some light flickering, there's no indication that this place is a place of business.
Can you kick Petro so he can? Oh, never mind.
Okay, got it now.
Oh.
Technical difficulties averted.
No worries. Welcome to the map.
Ooh, late to the game.
So you see the big and walking around.
I do. Oh, he is big.
Yes.
All right, so I guess what would you do? Well, okay, so as far as we know, he goes to the Hooded Lanterns to deliver the potions. Now, if we're supposed to be, making contact with him, I don't know how, I don't want to accidentally trigger this big guy in the front yard. I mean, again, who knows if they're even still in there. I guess you can't do anything but try. Let's go a little slowly and try not to. Maybe his sight is based on vision. And he's gonna creep very slowly.
Maybe his sight
His sight is based on vision.
Damn it! Maybe his sight.
You mean sight is based on movement?
Yes, his sight might be based on vision, and he starts walking forward.
Oh God. You don't want to let Petro and I take the lead on this one?
Yeah. You got this. You got this. Go. You got the pen. Show the pen.
She's gonna carefully.
Excuse me.
She's gonna carefully take one step forward through that same pathway and just kind of keeping an eye. Oh God!
Hello.
It does add for the suspension, doesn't it?
You hear
This really big hulking creature immediately turns around and takes a couple of big steps towards you and stops right in front of you, looking at you. It tries to talk, but it has a hard time doing so as it's missing its jaw, but it can make somewhat of a attempt at communication.
Who are you?
She's gonna hold up the pin that Corey gave her and just, we're here to speak with the Lord of the House.
He says as he points towards the front door.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, buddy, I noticed that it looks like you hurt your mouth. Do you want some help? Oh, okay.
Sorry. He turned back to patrol and immediately
what?
Oh,
he looks at you again, Petro. Sounded like a question.
Oh, I put Javier has a sword, and Javier puts his sword on the ground, and reaches out his hand with an open palm, as if to gesture, bring your head toward me.
Will he do that? That is a good question. Rolled a natural one on that. Yes, he places his head in your hands.
So how tall is this thing?
Oh, this thing is big.
Is he Petro size or higher?
No, bigger. It's an ogre.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's an undead ogre. So ogres are what, 8-9 foot somewhere? It's they're big.
I think in Petro 8-9 foot.
Well, I'm Javier right now, but I am almost 10 feet, yeah. Usually.
So Petra's, in reality, he's looking down on this ogre while Javier's looking up. Hello.
So yeah, as I touch his head, Petra is going to use his lay on hands to heal him for 3 points of damage to see if it does anything.
Okay. Also, I had to quickly look up. They're between 9 and 10 feet tall, and they can weigh as much as 650 pounds.
That's big.
Yeah,
that's no bueno. So you give him 3 points of healing.
Yes, in an attempt to fix his jaw, basically.
It won't fix his jaw. There's no jaw there to begin with, so there's no jaw that grows back. I think a couple of his wounds close, and he looks at it and then looks at you again.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, anytime. That's what I do. That's what Javier does.
He points towards the front door again and then resumes his patrol.
Okay, thank you. Well, he was nice.
That gave me chills.
As you walk past the fountain, you hear a very telltale ribbit.
Oh! Who's in there?
As you look in the water, you see a really big toad plumping up from the water and sitting on the edge of the fountain.
Oh, you're a big fella.
Ribbit. This thing is as big as your head.
Wow. Oh, you've been eating some big flies, huh? In my speak with my limited not speak with animals, but speech of beast and leaf, I kind of ask him if he can indicate. I asked the frog. I'm just like, is it safe here? Is the guy that owns this place, is he friendly? Is it okay?
You see that the frog looks at you and replies with, "Rah." You've had encounters with frogs before. You could understand them perfectly asking this. This thing just replies with, "Rah."
Which, of course, means...
Rah, and nothing more. You quite literally cannot understand anything beyond rah.
So what do you say, Petro?
Oh, he said raw.
Yeah, that's we heard that, but what he's saying.
Rot.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, well, I guess don't share with us. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't as helpful as I expected, I guess. But he is he looks very kind.
Big guy's coming back. Let's I guess. Go ahead,
Okay,
Brian.
little frog. My name's Petro. I'll see you later. Bye.
You mentioned that your name is Petra, right? Not Javier.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the frog. Just to the frog.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
fair. You're standing at the front door, Briar.
Yeah, she's gonna go ahead and knock on the door.
Okay. It takes a couple of seconds, but sure enough, after those couple of seconds, the door is opened, and in front of you stands a young man. Hello?
Hi. Hope we're in the right place, but we're looking for Oscar.
Sorry, there's no Oscar here, and he already tries to close the door.
If you please, we're on business with the Hooded Lanterns, and she's showing him the pin.
Yeah, for what?
We just wanted to go ahead and discuss the deal with him.
Deal of what? What do you wanna deal?
They just want to speak with him in regards to the potions he makes and just strike up a deal with him. That's it.
Potions. Okay. Why didn't you say so? It's just and he looks around the corner. Just the three of you.
Oh, yes, I am Javier. Hello.
Buongiorno.
Corey, how's it going?
Okay. Come on in. Over here, and just go to your. Go over here, and he points to a door on his right.
May I ask your name?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. My name is Taryn, and I work here together with my friends.
And may I ask that large brute outside, what is he for security?
Well, who, Jawloose? Oh yeah, Jawloose is just there to scare away people that shouldn't be here in the first place.
Ah, a very effective strategy for most, I assume.
Yeah.
Very well.
Anyways,
So long.
yeah. Hey, hang on, he says. He joins you in that other room. Yeah, so just sit here at the table, and I'll get someone to talk with you. Okay?
Sure.
Javier will go over here and lean against the wall, because he's really cool.
Yeah. Carves a tiny Z in the wall. Tiny X, right?
What are some notable features of Terran, visibly?
So looking at Taryn, he, by all accounts, looks like a very young man. He has a very bright blue eyes, very blonde, unkept hair. You're noticing that he has an owl nearby that's either sitting on a shelf or on his shoulder. By all accounts, he looks young, he's maybe 18, 19 somewhere, but definitely not older than that. If anything, by contrast to the place and the zombie outside, he looks out of place.
Yeah.
As I'm standing in this corner, at a moment when he looks away, I'm going to cast Detect Magic and try to minimize the verbal and somatic components, or at least, to the extent that he can see them.
Roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
It's not going to be a high threshold, but yeah, it's not going to be high.
Not sleight of hand. Stealth.
Yeah, no, you're trying to be sneaky. I'll keep the
Dang it.
threshold low because I do take into account the fact that like you're not good at this.
All right.
Or that he's
It's gonna
looking
be
away.
It's gonna be with disadvantage because I'm in armor. So.
Yep.
It's a 10.
All right.
not bad.
That'll beat what I had. Yeah, you will
phew.
not notice the fact that you did that.
Okay, then I cast detect magic.
Cool. You will notice that the owl lights up. That seems to be a familiar.
The owl's a familiar. Is he real? Is there any illusion magic on Terran?
On Terrence himself, no. He seems to
Okay.
be normal.
And the room seems to be relatively normal.
The room over here has nothing magical in it. There are some bits
Okay.
and pieces of food, and most of it is rotten. Honestly, the place looks like you just walked into a student dorm. Really, like it looks bad.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Just sit down, and I'll get some people. Just wait here. Hang on. And he walks away.
And that's.
Does he close the door?
He does.
It's 10 minutes that I have this detect magic running.
I'm gonna try to peep through the keyhole and just watch to see what happens through the other side of the door.
Sure. You can probably see a very tiny bit, which will be just enough to notice that in the other room,
That's
you see you see another large creature, and I think you'll recognize what kind of creature that is based off of what you just saw hulking outside.
Another one.
Oh yeah.
All right. What do they call the big guy outside? Jalos. And well, looks like his brother Talos is also in here.
I think that was like Jolly Judy.
Sure, Petro.
I forgot already.
Remember, any situation, there's always a solution that benefits everybody. Gotta find it.
I've got a weird feeling.
Never tell me the odds.
Hey, so yeah, this is Gemma. Gemma, these are people from where were you from again?
The Hooded Lanterns.
The Hooded Lanterns. Yeah, from the city with the gate, and we are selling them potions, right? Yeah. So, what was it you wanted?
We just want to discuss Oscar about a deal he was making with the Hooded Lanterns and just wanted to negotiate this deal.
Yeah, so Oscar is busy, but you can talk to us. We're his business representatives.
Unfortunately, what we are discussing must only be discussed with Oscar. We appreciate your candor in this matter, and we also appreciate your expedition.
Okay. Well, we don't appreciate that you don't want to talk to us, so if you don't have anything you want to share with us, then we can see you out again.
We have gold.
Oh, how much?
This is a matter that we need to discuss with Oscar.
They look at each other as a third person walks into the room. Hey, sorry, I heard commotion. Figured I'd just come and check it out. Name's Bolter. Yeah. Looking at these two, by the way, that joined in, Gemma has also like the very blue eyes that Terran has. Very, very crystal blue. On an otherwise dark complexion. You notice that she also has a hint of like elvish ears. Bolter, that just walked in, is a very fair-looking man with a large bushy beard. He's holding a cat that he is like almost like religiously like tickling and stroking.
These pets that you have are very cute.
Huh? Yeah. Well, we love them. All three of them, by the way, light up, so all three of them are familiars.
And You carry them around for a particular reason?
Yeah, I love him. You know, I love Mr. Mittens here.
Oh. Yes, he is quite cute.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful name. Petro's like trying not to break character as he sees this adorable kitten.
It's so cute.
Even if it is lighting up.
Corey's gonna be looking at the cat too. Does it like look at him or interact with him in any way?
No, it's perfectly comfortable in the arms of its master, and it's just lying there to be like pretty and to be loved.
Purring. Got it.
Yeah.
Corey's
Speaking
just
of
watching.
cats, hello, Pop Tart.
So the bag of golds.
Could we say something about a bag?
Oh. Well, I would assume it's a bag. If it's just a couple of coins, it's going to be hard to do business.
Well, you have to understand we need to take precautions, right, Corey?
Sure, yeah. Now, on the note of doing this business and negotiating the deal, one of the things that we have a couple of points that we'd like to touch on. So one of the things that we heard is that Oscar was interested in renegotiating the price, and we wanted to understand what the reasoning behind this renegotiation was.
Oh, yeah, it's harder to come by the ingredients. So yeah, it's a bit of a risk involved.
I'm something of a distributor myself of various occult and mundane objects. So maybe if you ask me, or if you let me know what kind of ingredients you're talking about, I might actually be able to help reduce your prices a little bit by making it easier to come by, and you can still make yourself a possibly better profit given the cheapness of the ingredients comparatively.
Oh. Well, there's a couple of ingredients that we generally try to buy from Emberwood Village and such, but well, their prices are increasing, so ours are too. I don't really see how a middleman can cut the prices. I think it makes it more expensive.
Well, doesn't necessarily have to be a middleman. Could be a new distributor, depending on what kind of supplies you need and in what quantity. I happen to actually do
Right.
business out of Emberwood and have a unique. Sorry, I forget the word. I have a unique capability of acquiring new ingredients with the help of the Hooded Lanterns. If you were to negotiate some kind of deal, we might actually be able to trade with you some of the ingredients for a reduction in price, or at least maintaining the original deal.
Okay.
I'd also like to ask, what are some of the offerings that you have made to the Hooded Lanterns? Because in our dealings with them, they have indicated to us that you guys have some possible interactions with various types of potions of a more peculiar nature.
They look at each other. During your dealings with them, weren't you part of the Hooded Lanterns?
We're sort of a subcontracting agency. We've been working with them. We're a little bit higher skilled than they are. So we work with them on a provisionary basis. They actually gave us the pin that you see over there as a representation that we're aligned in this particular business endeavor.
Oh. What about Cloak Boy over there? And they point to Petra.
Well, Javier,
Well, as you can see, I am a full-fledged member. In fact, I work directly under the Lord Commander.
yeah, they sent him along to make sure that we were, doing business in good faith. They didn't want us to try to weasel in and get ourselves in on the cut or anything like that. All them goody two shoes over there.
And as you can see, I'm very good at this, and I am very convincing.
So funny. Okay. Listen, Bolter, Can you? And Bolter like doesn't need the rest of the sentence. He just nods and he closes his eyes and puts like his hand like next to his temple for a second.
Ooh.
It's on his way, he says.
Did anything flare up in my detect magic for that?
Yeah, you notice that he cast a spell, like 100%. That would be. I think that's
evocation.
Whatever sending is.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think that's evocation, but yeah.
Something telepathy based.
Yeah.
Corey's gonna move around to the other side of the table to leave room for.
Another gentleman joins you.
It's evocation for what it's worth.
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah. Hi, name's Marco. I'm leading this little group. What was this about a deal and whatnot?
How many of you are there in this house? I don't feel like there were this many rooms.
Why, you want to sleep over or something?
Well, actually,
Are you inviting me? Is there going to be popcorn?
or a shepherd's pie.
Oh. I mean, oh.
Actually, that leads us to part of the deal that they wanted to discuss. In order to maintain safe operations and make sure that you guys don't have any disturbances from anyone outside of the in the city. There's a lot of ruffians out here. The Lord Commander would like to extend his welcome to work directly out of the safety of the garrison, which would be guarded 24/7 by some of the elite city guards or whatever. Might get a couple extra rooms.
And what if we want out? If we just want to, go somewhere else? What are the Hooded Lanterns going to say then? Like, no, you work for us now. So
No. I think it's more like you.
I love that voice change.
Pedro keeps fucking it up. Pardon my French. I think it's more like you just get to be your own people and do your own thing, and it's just more convenient for you.
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest. The Lord Commander didn't actually go into details on how that was. He wanted to extend the offer and see what your, how you reacted to that. If you were amenable to the possibility of the deal, because maybe if you were in a more protected area, you had access to more of the supplies. You could make more of your potions and not have to worry about the threat of thieves or anyone along the way. Yeah, if you guys wanted to strike out on your own, do your own thing, go wherever you want. Honestly, I don't really know. That's something that we should probably bring up with Lord Commander and talk about. But we should get the ball rolling and see if it's even an option in the first place, right?
They look at each other and then look at you again. Okay. So you want to talk to who now?
We were told to talk to Oscar or Jorn himself. Now, we've been trying to work with good faith with you guys because we're letting you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. Because like you said, you're part of this operation as well. This isn't, I assume that you want to be, have a part in the decisions or whatever going forward.
You want to talk to Oscar?
You'd like to, possible. Also, if you have any stock available, we were sent with a bit of a stipend, a couple $100 gold to just look over what you got to see if there was anything we could use at the moment.
You have a couple $100 gold on you.
Of course. We wouldn't come to a, possible business dealings without something to show for it.
Okay. They look at each other again. Sure. You can talk to Oscar if you want. Yeah, that's no problem. We can bring you to him.
I think that would be, that's pretty much as expected, I suppose. How you guys do business is the way you do business. I'm not about to tell you how to run your shop.
When they say they can bring us to him, is there any sort of foul play in their tone?
Maybe.
Brier's going to be listening. Brier's been just watching this entire thing. She's been examining like the likeness in their eyes, just kind of listening on their tone, just kind of.
Are they giving each other eye
Listening.
signals and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Give me an insight check.
All of us are just some.
Petra's not
Whoever
great.
wants to join in, you can roll an insight as well. Like I'll allow all three of you if you want to.
Petra got an 11.
Okay.
Brier got a 9.
I got a 20.
Wow. Okay. Natural 20.
So
Wow.
Okay.
While talking with him, I'm also like every now and again, every time he looks away, I'm also looking at the other people's eyes. Like, are they communicating with each other? What's going on?
Yeah, they're definitely giving each other signals. As to what, it's very hard to tell like what they're like signaling each other, but it's very clear that they have something else going on other than just talking to you.
Cards on the table. One of the things that the hooded one of the things that hooded lanterns are interested in is anytime someone suffers from the after effects of long-term exposure from the haze, they really don't have any way to deal with it. And
Yeah.
I, going to the religious kooks out there by the river, I don't want, it's a little extra, it's not really worth it. So that was something I was going to ask. If you guys are dealing dealings of making healing and healing items and potions and stuff, I wonder if there's any research going on into that regard, and if that's something we can help with as well.
Well, usually people that get contaminated, they get contaminated a lot and then they die. So yeah, there's not a lot of research that we can do in that. That's the problem.
So what level of proficiency is this Oscar guy? I mean, like, is he just brewing up health potions that he found a recipe for in the Amethyst Academy basement or something? Is he just some like chemist who's just particularly good at making this type of potion, or does he actually know what he's doing?
I don't know. He's we're his understudy, and yeah, he's doing pretty well, I guess. You want to meet him?
Can I ask you a weird question?
Yeah, sure.
Oscar, does he speak other languages?
They look at each other. Not that I know of. Maybe.
Okay, that's all. Thanks.
Okay. So, you want to meet him?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go say hi to him.
Sure. Let's go and meet Oscar. And Taryn goes first. The rest wait until you exit the room.
You stay by the front door. You all can follow him.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the people behind me and also on the guy in front of us now. Specifically the big guy in front of us.
Brier's gonna be definitely keeping an eye on this group.
As you hang on. As you walk into the other room, you can see that there is indeed another large ogre over here who is currently stacking some boxes, it seems. Who gives off a subtle burn as you come in.
Well, you guys got some of the best help in the city.
Yeah, I guess so. Terrence says as he just like flumps himself into one of the chairs.
So we're gonna wait in here for Oscar.
Oh no, just go through that door and he'll be right. I'm sure you can help them, right, Marco? Oh yeah, sure. I'll go first, he says, and he walks in.
I'm gonna look back to Brier. Any indication on how she's feeling?
She's very She's much more guarded now that they're inside.
Did we lose Javier?
You hear a shout from the other room. Javier is watching the front door.
In front the door.
All right there. Just, well, be careful, just don't get in the way of anyone carrying boxes. Start walking in.
Who knew?
I was gonna say, who did that?
I accidentally clicked. I'm sorry.
I also clicked the button.
It's haunted.
Ambush!
They're trying to capture me.
Good heavens!
As you walk into the next room, you notice that there is a bit of like a seating area over here with a couple of bookshelves with books on it. And Marco looks around and says, "Okay, just want to make sure you really want to talk to Oscar, right?"
Yeah, we was sent here by the Lord Commander to talk to him. I feel like we can't really go back empty-handed.
So I'm gonna need you to, leave your weapons up here for, safety, Oscar and whatnot.
Sure. Honestly, like, I get that. I get that. You don't want someone going in armed into your business. He pulls out 2 daggers and the hand crossbow. And he puts them on the table.
That's not all the weapons you have on you, right?
Well, I mean, he has his, like, gauntlet that's integrated into his armor. And he has a bunch of little metal things that he can use to make cannons out of, but I don't think they know that.
That's fair. He puts them to the side. Okay. And you? He says as he looks over at Brier.
I think she might prefer to keep them on her. So, Brier, do you wanna disarm and go see him, or you okay with me talking to the man and you staying out here with your, keep an eye out?
I'll stay close by.
Is that okay with you, Marco? As long as she doesn't come in.
She doesn't come in, then she can keep her weapons on her. What about your friend? What was his name?
Javier.
Javier is watching the front door.
Oh, right. Javier. Okay. Sure. If he wants to stay there, then that's fine. So just you then?
Yeah, that would be just me.
Okay. He walks over to the bookcase, and you notice that he pulls something on the shelf over there. And as he steps back, you see that part of that bookcase pops out and reveals a secret passage. Just go downstairs and tell Oscar that you're there for the business that you intended. And tell him you're unarmed and you should be fine.
All right, now, for the Lord Commander's sake and everything, keeping his pin safe, because that is a very precious thing for him. I was told to leave that with Brier. Is that okay? If he knows that we're from the Hooded Lanterns, right? So I don't have to bring the proof down to him.
I'd say just go ahead and bring it with you.
All right, Brier, can I hang on to it?
Sure. You're gonna be okay by yourself?
Yeah, it'll be fine. We're just doing business, business owner to business owner. I get it. It happens all the time.
Just be careful.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, we just, don't make a deal. It happens. I think we'll be able to talk shop. And he starts walking in.
Can Petra do something while this is happening?
Sorry?
Can Petra do something while this is happening?
Sure, tell me.
I'd like to go outside and see if the frog is still there.
Yeah, still there.
I'd like to cast Speak with Animals this time.
Sure. You cast that. What do you want to do?
Hey, it's me again. I'm actually I'm in disguise right now, and I just I know that we had a little miscommunication earlier, and I wanted to make sure, is the guy who runs this place, is he okay? Okay, and then I grab him by the leg.
You grab it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Ooh.
As you grab it, it turns invisible.
Oh, am I still holding on to it?
You're still feeling it, yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. What do you want to do?
I shout to Corey and Brier, and I say, I don't know if I found Oscar, but I found something. You guys should probably come out here and see it.
What's going on out there? I yelled to Marco.
I don't know. What's...
Okay, I'll bring it in. And then I just start going inside with the frog, the invisible frog.
Sure.
Blowing this whole operation. No, like I'm all for it. This is great.
Do I see any like flour or like sand or anything that I can sprinkle lying around?
You're so smart. Sure. Like with something like that, I need to reward that. Sure. There's dust
Yes.
on the ground.
Petra scoops up some dust and like sprinkles it onto the frog, so that it's somewhat visible.
Yeah, you can basically see it right now.
And then he walks into this room and he just shouts at the whole room, "Why doesn't your frog speak frog?"
Oh god!
This isn't a frog.
Why doesn't your frog speak frog?
He's only croaking.
This is a froggery.
Oh, we're getting a leg up on the situation.
Okay. Note to self: this is another way that the story can go.
Hey, what's happening here? What's
also
going
like
on?
I'd also like to ask if my detect magic sees anything on the frog. I probably should have asked that sooner.
Yeah, and I should have probably answered that sooner. Yeah, that thing is magical as F.
Yeah.
As you walk in and you basically say this, like, you know, your frog doesn't speak frog. Rotjaw, the other like big ogre, like immediately turns to you. And you notice that Taryn, Gemma, and Bolter, all three, like step a little closer to you. And all three of them basically get their hands out of their pockets. What are you doing?
Oh, it's just a weird frog, and I'm wondering why it doesn't speak frog.
Let Drophic go.
Who?
Drophic.
Who's Trophic?
What you're holding right now.
I don't trust him.
Marco immediately runs to the bookcase and just yells down, "Oscar, they got Drophic!"
I'm gonna start inching my way toward the door.
Corey yells out, "Who the hell is Trovic?"
Oops, didn't mean to close it.
Oh, as if you do that, Bolter will force that door closed against you. He's not gonna let you go.
Okay. Okay, we can all talk. I like frogs, but you're not being honest with us.
You're really not being honest with us.
Let him go.
No.
Hey, Petro, we
Let him
might want to
go.
let the frog go.
Now.
Oh, Trovic, what do you think?
Ah, what the hell? Let me go.
Aha, see? And I let him go. I let him go when he says that.
Awesome. He drops to the ground and he turns back into his normal self. It's the only thing that I don't know if I have a total for that, but I think I do. The image is broken. It might not work. Let me just quickly check. Oh, it does actually. Yay. So Drovik drops to the ground, and as he does, he pops into what he actually is. You see a little quasit in front of you. For those of you that don't know what quasits are, they're basically tiny fiends.
And shapeshift and stuff.
Yeah, shape-shifting tiny fiends that are just annoying. They can bite and whatnot, and they're really good at just like turning into things that they shouldn't be.
I kneel down and say, "I'm sorry I grabbed you. It's rude to not be a frog and be a frog."
Hey, it's rude to just grab me from a fountain.
Fair point.
All right. Having heard what Petro said earlier and kind of putting two and two together, Corey's gonna say, "All right. Seems there's a little miscommunication here. Our friend Javier, works with the, he's in the Hood Lanterns. He works with the druid over at the healing thing. The guy, druids are weird. They have like weird second languages and stuff. Whenever they're talking to animals, they talk about. He has like his animal name, his spirit name." Calls himself Petro for some reason, but guys, I don't know what's going on here. The guy got a weird quirk, and everyone's getting all in a fuss. Can we just chill out for a second?
Everyone is just looking at everyone basically in the room right now.
All right, I'm still here to do business. We still got the gold. Now, when can I see the stock? And when can we talk about the provisions that Oscar was gonna answer?
Marco walks into the door opening from the room with the bookcase. Oscar wants to know if Drovik is all right.
Drovik's fine. He just doesn't speak very good frog.
If you let Drovik go, Oscar will talk to you, okay?
He's let go already, so.
Okay.
So Petra just kind of looks down at him, like, I think I let him go.
I can see Petro just...
Did I forget?
Oh,
yeah, no, he's down.
No, you totally let him go. Yeah.
No, but Petra is asking himself, like, did I forget?
See, Javier,
Marco
you confuse everybody with all this druid stuff that you talk about. Told you.
So Marco looks at the three of you and he says, Oscar would like to speak to all three of you. You let Drovik go, so that's trust, right? Right, everyone? That's trust. That's important. Oscar is willing to work on the basis of trust. If you want to go down there, keep your weapons on you.
We'll keep everything calm.
Out of place, we're gonna have a problem, okay?
That's all we wanted.
We're gonna
was
keep
just
it
a
calm.
little bit of trust. Brier says with like a really kind of a snarky tone.
Okay. We'll be waiting up here, and if we hear one sign of trouble, there's going to be more trouble.
Understandable. Now, honestly, if we can't come to a good understanding on behalf of the Lord Commander, we might get ourselves in some trouble with the Hooded Lanterns. We're gonna try to do everything by the book on this, okay?
All right. You can go downstairs.
I look up at the ogre and I just kind of, I'm like, can we trust these people?
You see the ogre standing here, who is also missing his jaw, put his hand where his jaw was and try to mimic what his jaw would do and speak to you, saying, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good enough for me. All right, let's go. And he leaves his hammer leaning against the wall.
What's all the jawless ogres? Well, I think he did say you can keep our weapons as long as we maintain the peace.
And that is correct.
Yeah, and out of good faith, I'll leave my daggers and thing on the table.
Yeah,
right.
Petra's gonna leave his. The fact that they said he didn't have to take his weapons. Oops. He's not gonna take his weapons.
Look at you being the goody two shoes.
I think that's what he would do. And also, he puts his sword against the wall, and then I assume as soon as he walks away, it turns into a hammer.
That's a good question. Disguise self. How long does it? Yeah. Does anything come?
I think it's only things that are on your person that can be disguised. So.
Petro, come on, man, work with me.
Are they gonna notice?
I left it out of sight. It's fine.
In all the commotion, are they going to notice that? No, of course they're not. Why would my dice be nice to me for a change? All right.
We're deep in business territory. I don't want to say enemy territory because we're not enemies yet. I think we can come out of this with a good relationship.
Sure.
Don't say that.
All right. You descend the staircase and you find yourself in a very musty hallway, choked with dust and some old candles that seem to be lit with a perpetual magical fire. You notice that there's a couple of doors around you. There's nothing else beyond that.
How tall is the passageway?
Gosh, not tall. This is like a cellar, so 5 foot maybe. So you're gonna have to
Okay. Yeah, even Javier is gonna have to squat, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
basically walking on my knees at this point.
I'm basically imagining like a Dungeons and Dragons movie style glitch in the thing where he's crouched, but his knees are like clipping through his thighs.
Right. I'm doing the TF2 spy crab walk.
Yes.
All right. So, was there any indication which of these pathways leads to Oscar? Because that's what we're here for. Actually,
if you look at all the 3 doors, there's one that actually has a large label above it, which would be the one with the little divot in the hallway that says laboratory.
All right. So before we hit there, they didn't come down with us. Is this door? Does it have any gaps where it can be seen through?
I believe so. Yes, that would have a bit of room.
All right, I'm gonna do my best to try to see through whatever gaps, and before I actually try the door.
Okay, if you look through, you see a small room further ahead, and you think you see water.
No. And then I'm gonna quickly make my way down, shuffling, not like aggressively running, but shuffling. And do the same thing over here. I just want to get a sense of like what's out there.
You get the feeling that you see a ladder over there.
Okay, so yeah, like thinking to the rough layout of the house, does it look like it's going up or down?
Ladders tend to go both ways, but this one is positioned in such a way that you can go up.
Okay. So he sort of makes a mental note of where it is, like how many paces.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah. So he's making a mental note of how far it is, just where that ladder might go. All right. If you feel like Brier, you can take point on this if you'd like.
You want me to break it down or
No. What we here to do business?
Oh,
Brier-
right.
Break it down.
Brier's
Knock
gonna knock on the
politely.
door.
As you knock on the door, you hear a voice from the other side that says, "Oh, hang on. Don't open it yet." You hear the door itself give off a very faint a hum of magic.
Let's actually, could everyone do me a favor and back up a little bit?
Okay.
Sure. Is my detect magic still going?
Let's say that this is the last thing that you could do with that. You actually see the door from going relatively magical to non-magical, as if
Got
something
it.
was taken off.
Okay.
That's a good sign. I relate to them and I'm just like, I think you just dispelled something.
All right. Well, I was gonna see what it looked like. I was kind of interested to see, but what do you fine? Whatever.
All right. Come on in. It's safe.
And with that, Brier's gonna open the door.
Boom!
Beyond the door.
Oh, never mind.
It explodes. Beyond the door, you see a preliminary operating theater / laboratory. There is a lot of stuff scattered around. This place isn't well kept. You see books, scrolls, notes, flasks, partially filled and partially not. And you see 2 operating tables with 2 corpses on it. Both of them look horrible. One of them you can very clearly see as one of the haze husks that you have fought a few times so far. These zombie-like creatures that come back from the dead with this purple smoke coming out of them. No longer bellowing this purple smoke, it is lying dead on this operating table. The other one, very much like that, but more human, except for the fact that there's a lot of tentacles coming out of this one. This is definitely one of those mutated dregs that you have fought. On the far end of the room, you see a man in his 40s that looks like he's had a rough patch of life over the last period of time. He looks nothing like a wizard. He looks nothing like, well, anything except for an old man that has missed too many nights of sleep.
It
As
looks
he
like a
looks over to
professor.
you, to a degree, but like without the robes and whatnot. He looks at the 3 of you and he says, "You're the ones causing a bit of a ruckus up there, huh? Come on in."
Yeah, there was a bit of a miscommunication, but we're here to talk in good faith.
Glad you are. As such, you can come in. One wrong move.
Petro walks over and looks at this body on the table a little more closely.
It is completely spliced open, like collarbone to basically like belly button, maybe even below, and just worked open. You see a couple of organs taken out and put into like a large metal bowl next to it, and there's just some notes scribbled here and there next to it. This looks like something he was working on relatively recently.
I look over to Oscar. What are you doing to these things?
Oh, that's my research. You see, this one is a late-stage mutation. It's got a couple of tentacles, as you can see. And I am interested to see what makes them what they are right now. If that's a blood issue, something with the organs. As you can see, the blood seems to be still relatively intact. So it must be something else. Huh.
Yep.
What can I help you with?
What have you learned from this so far?
Well, other than the fact that he's mutated, precious little. It's hard to operate and learn from dead species. I prefer live ones, but go ahead and try and get one of those, you know?
Yeah. I feel like they'd be a little bit opposed to being explored and investigated.
Most people that are either mutating or have some form of contamination don't want to be examined. So my research is slow.
I'm gonna try to look at Petro and like give him a very meaningful stare for a second or two.
What are you trying to convey in your meaningful stare?
He's given you this look before, which basically means shut up. Sorry, this is not in a you know. I don't know how much I can convey here, but basically he's like he's talking about testing living subjects who have been contaminated and stuff like that. And I don't know if like he tried to catch Petro's attention and basically like.
So then after the bodies are after you're done studying them, what do you do with them?
Burn them, usually.
Well, if I just could make a slight suggestion, I understand that you're in pursuit of knowledge here, but if you could just maybe say just one prayer before you burn them next time, their souls would appreciate it. I know that may seem weird, but it does make a difference.
Would it make you feel better if I said a prayer to them?
Oh, well, me, I suppose.
All right. For my next test subjects, I will do that for you.
Oh, okay. That's very decent of you. Anyway, and then I think I'm gonna drop the disguise, and be like, well, I wasn't sure if we could trust you, but you seem like an honest person, so I'm Petro.
You can trust me, Petro, he says, as you mention your own name.
As I mentioned, what? Sorry.
As you mention your name, he does too. He says, I know I can trust you, Petro.
Oh. How?
What? Did I know your name?
Did you?
Yes.
He's trying to be all suave, grand reveal. Petro's like, I don't get it. Sorry.
Oh, I met your frog friend. He's not a frog.
Yes, you met my pet, and my pet was so gracious to tell me that you weren't Javier, something like that, but you were Petro, in fact. The detail that you shared with him.
Oh.
So I knew.
It's just a bit rude for him to pretend to be a frog. Very noble species.
It's a bit rude for you to pretend to be a human called Xavier.
You know what? That's fair.
While he's talking with Petro and how he's sort of like distracted, looking smart and stuff, Corey's trying to get an idea of what's going on up in the north. Like, are there important documents and papers? Is there any delirium, B, magical gadgets and stuff?
Yeah, there's a bowl on this table over here with a couple of delirium chips in there, about 5. On the table up here, there is books and notes and papers, indeed, with what seems to be some some research. From where you're standing right now, you can't really make heads or tails of it. You're gonna have to get closer for that.
Okay.
So, anyways, hooded lanterns, but not apparently because, well, you're not hooded lanterns. So are you looking for the hooded lanterns? What's the deal? What's happening here?
Basically, we were talking to the hooded lanterns about, common interests and how we can help them and how they can help us. And one of the things they said that they needed done was they needed someone to go talk to you about the potion schedules, essentially, the cost of them, how they're made, and basically how it gets to them in such a way that it keeps your work safe and helps you in the process. And I just so happen to be something of not necessarily, I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I'm an amateur at learning about what goes on in the city and the effects of the haze and delirium, and I'd like to offer my services in exchange for some considerations towards the hooded lanterns.
Okay. The hooded lanterns have bought quite a few of my potions over the last few years, but there's a bit of competition. Not on my side. There's not a lot of potion makers still in the city, but the hooded lanterns have gotten a bit of competition from another prospective buyer who's offering me a way better price than the hooded lanterns are. Figured I'd give him a way out by raising their prices, and they have responded very negatively towards that. I guess I'm gonna have to go with my other buyer then.
You know what? That's fair. That's a sound business tactic. If you've got more demand than there is supply, then you raise your prices. There's something to consider in terms of both collecting resources to make your product, as well as the safety in which you do it. First of all, anytime you're making the product, obviously there's a degree of challenge in procuring the resources that you need. Maybe even payment. Like, let's say you make $100 potion, or 100 gold potion, and it costs you $50 or 50 golden resources to make it. Damn it! It costs you 50 golden resources to make it.
Oh, that's what we use in Illyria.
Well, so imagine you could make it with 25 golden resources. Well, you just got a 25 gold boost on your overall profits. So, if you were to be able to strike a deal with the Hooded Lanterns where they maintained the price, but were able to get you resources at a cheaper rate, you'd still be able to see a higher profit. And one thing that they are offering is safety. One of the things that they happened to tell us was that they wanted to discuss with you if you were amenable the idea of moving your operation into a more fortified position where they would protect you. As part of the deal, they would make sure that you were never harmed or bothered by any of the ruffians in the city.
Right. So I'm supposed to believe that the Hooded Lanterns, who obviously have the best interests in mind for someone like me, would like me to come to their compound where I could work in all safety to advance whatever they want advanced, and to extract every bit of knowledge that I have on all the projects that I've been working on under the guise of protection. Lord knows that the second I would not want to cooperate anymore, that gate that opens so gladly for any living soul will then remain closed for me. No, I feel right at home over here. I feel fine. I have all the protection I need. I even have a couple of students that you have noticed. I'd rather stay here.
I'm going to turn to address Brier, and no, he's actually got a really good point. If they had offered me to move my store into the garrison, I'd probably be saying exactly the same thing. I don't think he should move into the garrison. That seems like he's got a great operation going here. He's got fantastic bodyguards. They're worried about his safety. Did you see the bodyguards out front? I don't think he needs it.
Oh, that guy was kind of nice, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just don't think that he actually needs any extra protection. I think he's got it handled, and he has complete autonomy out here. This is his own business. I mean, that's what, we store owners, we strive for that for years, is to actually have a business of our own, where we're not, slaving away under someone else's, methods and procedures and doctrines.
Fair enough.
I think you're onto something there, Oscar.
However, I might add, I'm surprised you wouldn't be taking advantage of both suppliers. Double the pay, double the resources, and you continue to sit comfortably in your own home.
Who says I don't?
So, Oscar, I noticed over there, and I'm not trying to pry, I just happen to notice, you got some delirium samples over in the corner. I imagine that factors into some of the work that you're doing. Now,
yeah,
we've been contracted by parties before to go collect what we can, as well as potentially make other forays into the city and do things here and there. And between you and me and my friends over here, we may or may not have a means of getting into the city that the Hooded Lanterns do not know about.
How do you know?
So, I'm concocting a possible future here for us where maybe we were to work something out where we could help you and you could help us. We supply you with some things, maybe some delirium or some other ingredients you might need from the city. And in return, if you could boost your creation, your supply, maybe at that point, because of the services rendered, you might be able to knock down the price a little for our hooded friends, our lanterny guys. Just trying to figure out a deal that works for all parties, at the same time. And in such a deal, I get a little bit more reign in the city to work on my experiments, while at the same time supplying you with what you want. I figure if everyone wins,
He takes a step back and he sits on his stool over here. All right. An adventuring party that can venture into the city and get me some things is interesting. And you're asking very little in return. There is something that I require from the inner city. It's hard to come by. Perhaps you can help me with that.
If it's delirium, we don't got a problem with that.
No. No. It's not delirium. I can get delirium. That's no issue. No, I'm talking for something much more valuable. I found a way to combat the haze. I found a recipe that, upon imbibing its potion that I make with it, you will become resistant to the haze. It cannot do anything to you anymore for a long, long time. You can go into the inner city without any problem whatsoever. Of course, barring any creatures that you run into, but the haze itself will no longer be a problem for you. Trouble is, for this particular potion, I require a couple of ingredients. The rarest of them is a lily that grows in Queen's Park Garden. Queen's Park Garden is smack dab in the middle of a large pocket of deep haze. It's hard to get to. It's even harder to find the lilies. I've sent a couple of my students there, and now I have new students. Oh, yes. I'm going to miss them, though. So, you want to truly help me out? You want to strike a deal for the hooded lanterns? I'm not going anywhere, but we can talk about the prices. You get me a couple of these lilies, and I'm willing to talk.
I feel like that's reasonable. Would you happen to have any stock that we can purchase for you on hand? Seeing as if we have to go into this location, it seems like we might need it to survive.
The potion, you mean?
Yeah. If we're heading into the haze, and you have something that protects against the haze, it might be something that we might need in order to procure your ingredients.
I believe I still have 2 doses here. There's 3 of you, though.
And you're not able to create any more?
Fresh out of materials.
If we share the doses, well, so okay, I'm a bit of a arcanomechanist myself, so I may actually be able to, you know, not necessarily change or anything. I want to understand. How would I go about using this? It seems like a medical thing, so I figure there's restrictions and rules and directions. Like,
Oh, and how long does it last, too?
It'll last for a very long time, a couple of hours, so it should be enough to go in and out.
It's more than a couple minutes, at least. That's great. And what happens if you take a partial dose?
I've never tried that, but I'd imagine you will get less protection. It's an interesting experiment, though. But he says as he shuffles alongside you and reaches into the cupboard over here. You're going to require these. And he pulls out 2 syringes. The syringes themselves are filled with an almost glowing orange liquid. It looks weird.
Well, what are these?
These are Aqua Expurgo, my invention to combat the haze. If you administer these, you will be protected fully against any effect of the haze for the coming hours.
So we spray it into our mouths, or?
No, straight into your heart, of course.
Oh.
So, I imagine, is there any kind of indication? Does it weaken with time, or is it just all at once you're vulnerable again, and if you're in the bad place?
Oh, it wears off with time.
Okay, so
you'll have a little one.
All right, and then is there anything else that we should be aware of in regards to this? Because do you want to have it on a full stomach, or I guess it goes into your heart, so
I don't imagine your stomach would be part of this whole thing, but if you must, you can always eat something if that reassures you. Just relaxes your nerves.
All right. Well,
Also, do you happen to have like a timepiece or like a pocket watch? Because we just got rid of ours, and it would be good to know when the effect is about to wear off.
Who gets rid of a pocket watch?
I just don't ask me, man.
Well,
We both
I
look
might
disapprovingly at Brier.
I might have some. Hang on, he says as he stands next to Petro, and he turns to you and he looks you in the eye. My boy, how are you feeling?
Oh, not great.
We had a bout of a chill at one of the places we stayed at. So,
yeah,
Am I correct to
Contaminated, yeah.
assume-
no.
A contaminated furball.
Oh, yeah.
Petro.
One moment, he says as he walks
Okay.
over to his other table.
You weren't
He-
supposed to tell him.
Scrounges
Was it?
through some of his pages.
I'm gonna
You weren't supposed to tell him you were contaminated.
sidle up
Oh,
and just
just-
keep an eye on what he's doing.
Just a little tiny bit.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Do you see what he's done with the experiments on those tables? She's
but
keeping
they-
her voice hush as she's speaking with him.
Oh. I mean, I don't.
Interesting. Hang on.
I don't think
That
he means
should
us
be
any
aligned
harm.
To,
Petro, I don't
Wait,
trust him.
As he walks away, I'm gonna quickly try to essentially take a look through what he has open face something. Like I'm not actually gonna start rifling pages or doing anything that make a sound, but I'm gonna try to look at everything he's got on his table and see if there's anything I can glean.
It's a lot that's up there, but like at a quick glance, you're noticing that there is scribblings of anatomy. You notice that there is some writing about lilies. You can see that there is something about blood, and at a glance, you also see writing about delirium crystals. Somehow, all of that is connected, and you're not going to be able to make heads or tails of that in the seconds that you have.
Can't take it.
Um,
Yeah.
Oscar, you wouldn't want to hurt me, would you?
Huh? No,
Oh,
of course
yeah.
not. Why would I?
Oh, I just because of the contaminated stuff. Just
No.
want to make sure. Oh, okay.
Of course, it wouldn't hurt you.
Is he looking at me when he says this?
No, he's like rifling through like his cupboard.
Does he seem to be genuine when he says this?
He seems to be looking for something, and answering you is like an afterthought.
Okay.
I did leave it somewhere here. Oh, of course, it wouldn't hurt you. You're gonna go fetch me my lilies. Why would I hurt you?
Oh, okay. Great.
Okay.
See, Briar, nothing to worry about.
I would assume the thing that you plan on doing with my friend here doesn't enhance the contamination, I would hope.
Of course not. Ah, here it is. And he turns around, and he's holding in his hand a very old-fashioned glass blood pump. Now, if we can help each other out a little bit more, I'd like to have a couple of vials of your blood.
Oh, I mean, I've got plenty of it. But I also don't want to give away my blood for free, and that's something I learned from my friend Corey over here.
So a couple of vials of blood. I feel like first of all, before we go any further, he is contaminated. The Hooded Lantern said something about like that only the religious people could actually do anything about contamination. And I was like, oh no, if you have someone who's really intelligent, they could definitely figure out a way, especially someone who makes potions. So is there something you can do? Can you do anything about contamination?
Not yet, but this will advance my research a lot. So, with a couple of vials of blood, I might be able to help you in the future. That's worth
Okay.
it, right?
Oscar, I just want one thing in return.
He looks at his wedding ring on his hand. Yes, what?
I want you to look me in the eyes, and I want you to tell me that you're doing this research for the good of all people and to help people, and not because you're a crazy mad scientist.
That was a lot. Can you repeat that?
I want you to promise me, by looking me in the eyes, that you're doing this to help people and for the sake of preventing contamination, and not because you're a crazy mad scientist.
All that.
Okay. Does he look genuine?
Roll me an insight check.
It's an 11.
I mean, he wasn't insincere, but
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back with my blood in a vial for you to study. But you can't have it right now.
why not? I have the. You're not going to draw it yourself.
see that.
Right?
So,
Oh, no, I'm gonna get one of my cleric friends to draw it for me.
well, here's the thing, Oscar. You're asking us to go into a very dangerous part of the city, and then, you know, odds are this is gonna do. You know, I don't know how many, you know, units of blood this big guy has, but you know, taking away blood
Oh,
ain't gonna have no
probably
effect
like-
on somebody.
Probably like 82, 83. It's a lot. Yeah.
It's gonna have, you know, it's gonna have an effect. But now, you want your lilies, right? You don't want to send in an expedition force where that's gonna have, like, I don't know, a delayed response time or be tired or something. We may even have to take a day, you know, figuring out what we're gonna do while this guy rests. I mean,
Well, I also don't want to let a prized option of contaminated semi-giant blood walk away. Here is what I propose instead. The amount of blood that I'm going to take from this big a man he will hardly feel. I got some food for you and some drink. That helps. Beyond that,
It does.
I can sweeten the deal. And he opens up his jacket and he takes out a very tiny vial that looks like a purple swirling amalgamation of something.
Corey's eyes go wide.
yes.
This might be very interesting for you, I think. It's my other invention that I have so far. This is aqua delirium.
Interesting. What does it do?
Is any of you a magic user by any chance?
Well,
Not particularly.
yeah, that's a whole other discussion for another time. I can do things that are like magic better than most magic
see-
users, in fact.
I'll try to explain it in layman's terms then. You see, sometimes magic users need a little boost. When they have done a couple of things, they feel a little tired, and they need a little pick-me-up. Often a bit of rest will suffice, but there are other ways to get yourself that little extra pep that you need to perform. There is such a, like...
So-
Now that I'm saying all of this, I'm like, this is such a... I realize all the same.
Is this a drug deal?
You said it was a
Look
little
at
blue
Oscar.
pill. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Look at Oscar. Do you think this is not a drug deal? Okay. All right. So
I'm gonna level with you.
So I have this mage enhancement pill here.
Oh,
no.
arcane enhancement pill. All right. I'm gonna level with you. I have been working my entire life to create something that could essentially replicate the effects of magic for a non-magical person. Now, right now, I can only get it to work with me because of the various methods that I have to use to create the arcane batteries that I use to power my gadgets. So let me just show you. And he's going to show him Corey's whole magical aspect is that he has these little delirium batteries that he's created from not necessarily delirium shards or anything, but it powers all of his gadgets. So whenever he casts shield, he's slamming home one of these little batteries and it's charging up a little shield that pops up, and it only works very briefly, but whatever. So I wonder if there's any way that I could actually interface this potion that you've created, if it is what you're saying it is, like basically, I don't know, powers up magical things. I might actually be able to, who knows, maybe even recharge my batteries, which normally takes an entire day to fully recharge them.
Now, this potion is very hard to make, so don't get your hopes up in replicating it, but I can supply you with this. It's wonderful, especially for those that have used magic or are using magic and need a little extra, this potion will get you that extra energy. Perhaps this is the thing that you've been looking for. Does it use delirium? Yes, it does. Is it safe? Yes. Surprisingly, I found a way to stabilize it. Plus, it comes with a very nice grape flavor.
Now, if I were to, well, you see, sometimes we all get really hurt, and I need to help my friends, and stop them from bleeding, regrow fingers, that sort of thing.
Get rid of diseases.
If I were to help my friends with their injuries, and then I ran out and couldn't do it anymore, would this help me with that too?
I've never tried this out on people like that, but it's worth a try. And hey, for 2 vials of your blood, I think it's a fair exchange. I'm going to give this you for free. These are very expensive, mind you, but I'm willing to trade that because your blood will advance my research a lot.
Petro
this
looks
is
at
up to you,
Brier.
buddy.
Yeah, Petro looks at Brier.
Up to you, Petro. I'll trust what you decide.
Just be careful.
As she's eyeing Oscar after she says that.
All right, if Petro, if you do decide to do this, I would like to examine the tools that he's using just to make sure they're not rusty and degraded.
Oscar, I've decided that I think your intentions are in the right place. That said, I don't think that we can take any more risks than the risks that we've taken. So I really hope that your work is going well and that you make the progress that you need to make. But today, my blood is going to stay inside of my body.
All right. And what about the Aqua Expurgo? If you want to go into the inner city to find the lilies for me, are you interested in using that?
Oh, I think that we are interested in, yes.
Good. Are you going to administer it yourself to your heart?
I suppose so.
You already said there was only 2. Now, how are we going to go about using this for? How do we get another one?
Maybe we can all
Get
go
me some
together.
lilies, and I'll make you more.
Maybe we can all go together, and then when it starts getting really bad, 2 of us can continue.
Petro, I think that this is the kind of place that you go and there is no getting bad. It's already bad. So
No, I just mean one of us could stay behind if we need to.
I don't want to be in the city alone. Now, Oscar, what would happen if you gave this to us and unfortunately we were to perish in the attempt to get this? Now, at that point, you'd be all out. You wouldn't have any other means to go into the city, and you wouldn't have any other means to make any more of this potion. So,
Oh, I do. I just send a couple more students until they finally get me my lilies.
That's
People are
resourceful.
much more disposable, as you might think. Call me deplorable, but I call it resourceful.
Okay, well, Oscar, I really wanted to trust you. It's just hard when you say stuff like that, you know?
I understand.
Oscar, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to trust you.
I understand, but I hope that my blatant honesty can make up for whatever you hope that I would be that I'm not.
He is blatantly honest, I'll give him that.
All right. Well, we've pretty much. I think we've come to the best deal that we can altogether. So, I guess we're gonna go ahead and try to get you some ingredients, and we'll figure out how we're gonna do that.
Good. As much lilies as you can find, please, but at the very least 2 so I can continue on the pace that I've already been doing. Here are your Aqua Expurgo potions, free of charge. I will tell you, if I find out that you have been trying to copy this, If I find out that you have been trying to sell this, even though I give you this for free, or if I in any shape or form find that you are not getting me my lilies, I will find you. I will make sure that you will prove useful to me in other ways.
Mhm.
Gross. So, what
Like
color
how
are the
you
lilies?
students, I imagine.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing. She says with a fake sweet smile.
I think Petro also asked what color the
Oh,
lilies.
what?
The lilies that you are after grow in Queen's Park Garden in the water. They are purple.
It's-
You need at least 2 of them.
At least 2, but as many as you can find.
So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. In order to make the potion, you need a full lily per potion. Jeez.
That I cannot and I will not share with you.
I mean, you kind of just did. You said you need at least 2 in order to restock your supply. I mean,
Why-
don't worry about it. We're not gonna reveal your secrets. We need to work with you.
You have no idea how much stock I keep, and therefore I will not share anything further.
Understandable. Now, I'll be completely frank with you. If I knew how to make this, or if I had the capability, I wouldn't be doing deals and risking my life. I'd just be doing it and making bank. I can't. That's why I came to the expert.
Okay. So,
All right. Well, I just wanted to let you know that I don't think we even have the means to stab you in the back. We kind of rely on you.
Oh, I could probably figure it out if I needed to, but
well, I'm sure you would. Now, you stay alive out there. I need your blood when you come back. Or to one of your friends.
that's creepy.
Stay alive. Have a good time. I need your blood.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye, creepy man.
As you exit the lab with the feeling of, well, I don't know what kind of feeling you would have, but
Creeped out.
whatever feeling. Yeah, pretty much. And you walk back towards the stone staircase. You have another interesting job ahead of you. But how you're going to approach that will be a story for another time. Specifically for next week.
Can we just say that we're get out of the house just so or actually no, we can start here. I'm so scared about what's gonna happen when we leave.
I was gonna say, are you scared, man?
No, what? No, I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't just do a drug deal in the basement of some old hollowed out manor with 2 undead ogre guardians, as well as a bunch of really freaky looking closets and bats and shit upstairs.
And a fake frog.
And a fake frog.
You have no idea what you just got into, man.
Oh.
I really thought that I had Oscar when I got the frog. I was really hoping. I'm like, haha, I've solved the whole encounter. That would have been funny.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. All right. Everyone, thank you so much for watching once again. We are the Gilded Flask. We are always live on Fridays for a stream of 4 hours that ends right now. So we are 6 EST, right?
Yeah, 6 p.m.
till-
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, there we go.
Midnight Dutch time.
Yeah, midnight to 4 Dutch time.
Oh,
so
Lord.
imagine that. I'm tired. But also imagine how much fun we're having. I'm 100% behind.
It is so good to be back. Oh, it's been
Yes.
a long hiatus.
Ah, yes.
Alrighty, we will see you again next week with the next move of this group as they try to get out of this house.
Oh no.
And we'll see how they do that.
Bye.
Well then, thank you so much for watching.
Bye, friends.